Dear Mother, yesterday Seredan and I arrived in Six Hills. The Arcanum at the Beacon have awarded us for our bravery in helping the people of Potter's Path. As you will recall from my previous letter, a void rift in Potter's Path resulted in the town being terrorized by undead. Sere and I have been sent on a holiday of sorts as our reward for our assistance in disposing of the undead, to enjoy the festival at Six Hills. We've been asked to be judges at the Brew Bash competition this year. I don't quite know what exactly we've agreed to yet, but it all sounds very fun. When we arrived in Six Hills, we were approached by students at the local college here, the Millibrax College of Fine and Martial Arts, to participate in a sparring match. They insisted it was for a class assignment that they desperately needed to finish before enjoying the festivities. I don't think I would have agreed to the match if I weren't traveling with Sere, but she seems willing to try anything once. Maybe more than once, just to make sure the first experience wasn't a fluke. We were teamed up with a somewhat nervous-looking half-orc named Ezra, who is a practicing wizard, and his travel companion, a metal Warforged being who calls themselves Bolt. Rounding out our sparring team was a man named Victor. He cannot see, and I admit I was quite anxious at being on a team with someone with such a disability, whose combat technique of choice was knife throwing. On the opposing team were a group of college students. Aside from Bolt, who I later found out is at least 75 years old, all of the competitors on both teams were near the same age. A girl named Holly was the leader of the crew. She's studying to become a monk at the university here. There were a pair of twin tieflings named Malix and Nyx, a halfling blade dancer named Yinny, and rounding out the team was an obnoxious and self-absorbed rapier-wielding idiot named Brander. Remarkably, our little ragtag group was able to win the sparring match. Sari was the only member of our team who had to tap out, but she was the focus of the majority of the attacks from the other team. The student's instructor, a half-orc named Crier, met us in the arena after the match, quite embarrassed by the behavior of some of his students. He seemed to know the Warforged Bolt from when he, the professor, was a child. Professor Crier asked Holly to take us to Balin's Birth to get proper accommodations for the evening. As we arrived at Balin's Birth, a town primarily populated by goblins, we were greeted by a lovely goblin named Ceci. We discovered that she is the wife of the current Balin, or mayor, Balin Heck. She is also the official festival greeter and coordinator for the celebration at Six Hills. She gave us the most lovely flower crowns and wristbands, crafted by the druids of Little Gal. I haven't taken mine off since receiving it. It reminds me of you. Ceci also gifted us with little booklets full of coupons to use during the festival. Holly then took us to the Whistling Bowl, the finest inn in town. Upon arrival, we were joined by Holly's friend, Tess Darnathel. Tess is the daughter of the Darnathel noble house in Terrebonne. Tess is also a student at Millibrax College, studying to become a bard. It seems Millibrax attracts children from many affluent families. As Holly revealed, she is the daughter of a member of the Fall Court in Bleakwood Forest. Holly insisted on paying for room and board for all of us, as an apology for the sparring match earlier in the day. Sarah and I declined her offer, as the local Arcanum is footing the bill for us, but Ezra, Bolt, and Victor seemed grateful for her generosity. The rooms at this hotel are marvelous and very obviously magic. Each room transforms into whatever its guest desires. I managed to take a quick peek into everyone's rooms. Bolt's had a workbench. I'm not sure they even had a bed, but I don't suppose a being of their type requires sleep. Ezra's room was filled to the brim with books. He seems quite studious. I would expect nothing less with him being a wizard. Sare's room was grand and had a glorious bathtub in the middle for her to enjoy a long soak. Victor's room was quite perplexing. It was pitch black with no windows and was filled with wind chimes. My room was just like home. I almost expected you to walk in with a fresh loaf of bread to share. Speaking of bread, we all dined together last night. Sari ordered the most expensive food and drink available for us to enjoy. While we were dining, we were greeted by the mayor himself, Balin Heck. He gave Sarai and me a few tips and tricks for our judging duties the following day. Balin Heck was accompanied by Justicar Gren Whitehall of the local Arcanum. She seemed quite displeased by our charging our stay to the Arcanum. But I suppose you can't keep everyone happy all of the time. After Balin Heck and Justicar Whitehall left, we enjoyed the company of our sparring comrades. Sarai, always an open book, shared her plight in searching for answers for the cracking. She introduced us all to Craggy, through which the Choir of the Crags speaks to her. Sarai is from the Malagoth Mountains and a member of the Vanguard. She's a little quirky, but very likable. All of Ezra's anxious behavior made much more sense as he explained that he's a fugitive of sorts, carrying a book of his father's that the Arcanum is hunting for. Ezra mentioned that he is from Willow Creek Hollow, and I suddenly became even more interested in him and his book. Ezra is unable to read the book himself and has no idea why anyone would want it. I think I have an idea what it is he possesses. Ezra has hired Bolt as a sort of bodyguard, keeping an eye out and protecting him from any Arcanum that may discover his true identity. Bolt is quite interesting to me. They first became aware of life in a pile of refuse under the floating island of Manaport. They have spent the last 75 years scouring all of Aneria, searching for answers to understand who built them and why. Victor is another who has my interest piqued. Victor was not born blind, nor was he blinded by an accident. Rather, he chooses not to use his sight. His family are all members of the 8 Rings. His mother is the prime of the 4th ring, or the Ruby Wing, as he called it. Victor said he is taking a temporary leave of absence from the 4th ring, and that he works as a bounty hunter for the time being. A very curious one indeed. Sarai is the only one who knows of my past. She's been careful not to share it with the others. I am grateful for her friendship and would trust her implicitly, even if the trio hadn't admonished me to do so. I have been keeping in close touch with my employer through a magic ring he gave to me. I simply roll up a bit of parchment with a note on it, then magically pass it to him after saying a code word by pushing the parchment through the ring. He has asked me to keep a close eye on Ezra and to help protect the book. This morning we went to the opening ceremonies for the festival. It was quite fun to see the whole town decorated to the nines. There was a lovely hum of excitement in the air. Balin Heck welcomed everyone. He outlined the events for the day. In addition to the Brew Bash, there will be a bounder race for both professionals and amateurs, a boulder bonk, an alchemical triathlon, and a play to end the night. Sarai and I will be joined by Ignis Sal from Salsport and Ainor Elovir, a gnome chef from Willow Creek Hollow, as judges. It seems as if Ainor has not yet arrived, however. I do hope she is okay. We just finished up a visit at Nico's sweet shop and loaded up our satchels and bags with some handcrafted magical sweets. Father would likely die of shock to see my purchases. Sarai and I are now both proud owners of our own owlbear snuggle beasts. Bolt is the proud owner of a magical seatbelt. The day has just begun, but there is still so much fun to be had. Love, Eve.
So tonight we begin years ago in Willow Creek Hollow, in a small little cottage that it's not grand, but it's not poor at all. A little half-orc boy plays outside, pretending that rocks are siege weapons and that twigs are unfortunate souls underneath those siege weapons. And inside, an older full orc writes a letter in the first page of a tome that you all recognize. My son, if I were a better father, you would not be reading this. I would have protected you from this, sheltered you from the life you now have to live. But life and fate often don't let us choose our path. Rather, we are given the circumstances of life and treated to the harshest conditions that it can throw at us, and we must make do with what we have. So now I write a letter I hope you never read, yet know in my heart you one day will. It was actually an attempt to cast aside the hand that I was dealt that led me to this situation. But, more importantly, it led me to your mother and, by extension, you. That I have dodged your questions regarding your mother and the circumstances of your birth was not out of any misguided pain or guilt, but rather necessity. I go into details within the book on this, but it is important to note that nobody from your mother's life can know you exist. It will spell disaster not only for our world, but others as well. I was never a violent orc, much to the disappointment of my father and grandfather. We were scavengers, roaming the prairie and enjoying a life free from the responsibilities that most within the modernized world deem necessary for survival. But for this damnable book, I would have likely died at a young age when I looked at the wrong clansman at the wrong time. Instead, I was given a purpose beyond the small aspirations of my home and propelled on a journey that would lead me to you. The details of my full journey are numerous and listed throughout this tome, where I could squeeze them in. I would detail them all for you here at the beginning, but more important matters must come first. Detailed within this book are the secrets of fate and time, collected over the last 1,000 years by the Eternal Strand, a group of spellcasters who have been seeking and developing the techniques of chronomancy. While I could never learn any of the spells myself, not being magically inclined in the slightest, I knew when I first saw you practicing magic that the book was meant to be yours. After all, that is your fate. On the other side of this page is the complex motions for a few basic chronergy magics that may help you in your travels. While I don't understand it, I've been told that if you look at the pages through rippling waters, the magic will resolve itself to be understandable to any truly skilled wizard. Hopefully they can keep you alive until you can find those you trust. Orcs are not solitary hunters, my son. Find your people, bring them close, and protect them with all the power in this book until Aneria is at last free. Avoid the eyes in the sand. Trevin.
And the eyes in the sand.
That's terrifying.
I have 3 big questions now.
I don't think you can ask the prologue
Only
question.
three.
That was...
So that's all you got.
So while the prologue, we got to see Trevin writing the letter. In reality, Ezra read it last night, about the same time that
You got
don't
it. You got
Seredan. I'm sorry, I'm channeling my inner Holly. Seredan, about the same time that
dinosaur. Seredan.
yeah, Seredan.
There you go.
About the same time that Seredan was receiving her communication and additional training and power from the
Chorus.
choir, the chorus of the crags, or did I say it's the choir?
I believe it's the chorus.
Chorus.
I
yeah.
think I have at times called it the choir, however.
I'm sure we both have. At the same time,
The barbershop quartet of the Crags.
everybody else was doing training, going to sleep, sending messages, as it were, whatever happened the night before the festival. But that's neither here nor there. We don't really care about that because it's festival time, people. Snow the Beast well in hand. The 5 of
cozy.
you traveling along. Every now and then Bolt stops to have a seat just because he can. And let's go.
These
ahead
old
and-
iron legs get tired after a while.
So after Balin's speech, Ceci and a procession of goblins playing simple instruments start up the main road. You guys were kind of in the back of the crowd, grabbing your sweets from Nico's and then grabbing the individual items. They dance and laugh, waving banners of Six Hills various settlements and Six Hills as a whole. I don't know if anybody has seen the Six Hills flag yet. That might have been during a time after everything, so it looks like that. So it is
Very nice.
a sort of a collection of colorful circles, and that is not going to show up on the screen at all. We'll have to, Scott, make an edit note.
More editing. Got it.
Anyway. The locals move first, taking up their own chants and cheers as they follow the procession out, with the rest of the crowd following along, much more subdued, but still enjoying themselves. As we saw, more booths are set up along the road from town at this point, not to town, converting the large cobblestone street into a fairway of entertainment and delight. Performers in fancy clothes perform tricks to the delight of the moving crowd. Fire breathers launch colorful gouts of flame into the air. Knife dancers perform death-defying stunts with their blades. And one of them almost slashes into Victor before he kind of hears it coming and jerks back in time. You can tell that it really wasn't aiming to do anything more than get your attention, as Agini catches it and she says, "Didn't hear from you last night."
I wasn't sure that it was an appropriate time. These things came up with some of my new friends here. I wanted to learn a bit more about them, celebrate a little bit. Perhaps later?
Yeah, no problem. I was just curious. I was expecting you to come by.
My sincerest apologies.
Standing up.
And she said, "I gotta
Ghosted
get
her.
back to, And she
Not
she
a
starts
great
kind of
first impression.
weaving it around, and you can tell that she actually has a couple. It looks like she's got a couple like long, thin pieces of metal that almost like qualify as like razor blades almost in her hair, and it's kind of making it kind of float and kind of trail around a little bit, almost like she's just using that as extra performance art. And there's colorful ribbons in it as well.
She
And she
is
says, "I'll catch you
working
later,
it.
though."
She's working it.
Victor.
Does she seem? I would like to do a perception check based on how she sounds. Does she
Yep.
sound perturbed?
This is the mating ritual.
That would be an
That's where
insight
multiple,
check,
like,
actually.
Insight? Okay,
Come on.
17 plus 4, so...
No, actually, she doesn't sound perturbed. Everybody else takes it that way because they're looking at
Okay.
body language and the implications between it. But she really was just curious why you didn't come by.
Okay.
Yeah. Once again, everybody else is seeing this as like some romantic interest, and you two are just like knife
straight
dancing.
as straight
It's
as
just
an arrow,
yeah,
straight
we're
as
like
an arrow.
we're just literally practicing knife dancing. That's all we're doing, Ma. The door doesn't need to be open.
Yeah.
Need to
That
make a
one.
note for myself so I don't forget again.
tie a little string around your finger.
String around my finger.
So the crowd begins to disperse as some choose to start their day along the midway, but the procession and the bulk of the crowd continues until you come out the other side of the hills. There, in the grasslands between the long road and the town proper, is a large track that has sprung up overnight. A long dirt path, 1,000 feet in an oval, is surrounded by seating and a rope fence similar to those in the sparring arenas in Bordercrab that you experienced. At the far end of the grounds are the outlines of bounders, large rabbit creatures grazing along the grass, and you can see the caretakers prepping them for the race ahead. There's a few different ones. There's a specific article in the World Anvil, if you guys have read it, that kind of describes the individual racers that have been prominent in this race, or in this season so far. So I won't go into detail on all of them until the race begins, but nevertheless, if you guys want to look it up on the Anvil page, you can kind of see which one you want to be your favorite.
It's the Formula One of Aneria. It's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yep.
It's-
Yeah, it is huge. Yeah, like this is the culmination of about like I think it was like 12 different races leading up to this point that were all like qualifiers and
It's a big deal.
getting like placement and everything.
He
Yeah, it
rolled
is a huge
every
thing.
single one of them.
It took a while. I was gonna roll
That's how
every single
dedicated he
race,
was.
but it took like so many rounds for the first one. I was just like, this is the final. The only other race that really gets a lot of prominence is I guess there's some like boating races that happen. The Freewind Scrappers notoriously have been starting up sort of like a personal airship race that they like to do across the prairie and everything, but it hasn't really caught on yet. Because they're still debating on whether or not to allow flying mounts. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's technical stuff behind the scenes that none of you need to know about.
No pod racing.
Yeah, no pod racing. while many of the group head towards this race area to get seats or to go talk to the very clearly dressed goblin ledgermans that are taking bets for this race, because everything, it's legal, it's fine. Just as many are heading off to the right, where a bunch of stands have been set up for the Brew Bash competition. And again, they're just kind of these big stands. They're flashy, they're crazy, and if you go over there, we'll describe them all in detail. So, yeah.
Do you suppose we'll have time to maybe race a bunny before we have to go do the judging thing?
Well, I don't know. No one's told me what time we're supposed to
Let me
be.
look in the book. It has a schedule.
Oh.
I'll flip through. What's the schedule?
That's it is just like Ezra to have grabbed
I
the
thought you were talking
schedule.
about your book. I'm like, your dad was meticulous.
Don't worry, we have time for everything now.
Program.
Yeah, no, there were like information booths. Most of you probably missed those. Ezra definitely did not. He grabbed a pamphlet as soon as he could.
Got maps,
So the
things.
Bounder race starts about half an hour after everything begins for the professional race. So if you guys want to watch that, that is coming up. The Brew Bash competition kind of goes throughout the entire day. As far as your judging, you're just supposed to go there and taste them, and then later on in the evening they'll call you, or they'll come find you and they'll get the stuff, get the information, what you think is best. They'll set you aside with Saul and Ainor when she shows up.
Okay.
And then as far as everything else goes, after the professional race, there's going to be about 30 minutes of cleanup, just to like get the track all laid back down, clear any rabbit droppings or Bounder droppings, and then they'll do the amateur race, which you can sign up for at the Ledgerman. Like, it even tells you like which specific Balin goblin, because of course it's a Balin goblin, you want to go to. And then there's also information. It's like every hour after that is another competition until about 6 in the evening, when they do the full play for the festival.
I think I would need some liquid courage before racing on a Bounder.
I'll go with you.
They seem pretty unpredictable. I agree. I'll take a drink. It's early in the day, but
It's a holiday.
why not?
It's Brew Bash.
It's fun to
If
find
there's
someone.
ever a time to start drinking early, it's today.
It dulls your senses, and I don't need any more help with that.
Well, I suppose I can appreciate that. I'll have one for you.
Great.
Double. Toil and trouble. Where's the brew?
All right, so you guys head on over to the Brew Bash area. Let me tell you what you see. So there are several booths. I think there's 1, 2, 3. There's going to be 7 booths and 1 other feature. So we'll kind of go through them pretty quickly here. You see, the first thing you see as you walk in is a pair of human farmers in clothes that probably seem fancy to them, but are village fancy, right? Like, it's like the best that they could afford. They look out of place in the relaxed festival environment. They pour wine for a few interested patrons and talk with customers amiably. You can see that the pair of Edequathin that have come in have set up their shop, which is kind of just like a table. They have some coral, like actual coral cups, and then they filled them with a sweet-smelling drink to any you want.
Is that the kombucha?
That is the fermented kombucha.
Yes.
Off to the right,
Shouldn't be
being
biased,
ignored
so
by
judge.
most of the locals, are 3 large beer golems that are they're the largest kind. So they've got like the big keg, and then they've got kegs on the arms. In fact, Scott, I think we've got
We
one.
got some pony kegs on the arms.
Yeah, yep. Actually, a pony keg or a keg pony is a different type of beast altogether that we'll get to in just a moment here.
No way.
Yeah, they look pretty much like that. That is definitely the inspiration.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're so cute.
They are adorable, and they like if anybody comes near, they like hold out their hands, and they definitely have like nozzle hands. And most people just like pass by and they just go back to waiting. And then every now and then like somebody will walk up, and sometimes they look like rather embarrassed, but they'll go up and they'll hold out a cup and they'll just fill it up
Oh,
with
they feel
meat
bad-
stead meat.
feel bad for them. Oh.
I head straight for the beer golems.
So we'll get to the other ones, the actual like the big competitors from Pelben in just a moment here. Yeah, as you approach the beer golems, like all 3 of them like extend their arms and just wait for a cup underneath.
Yeah, I kind of look at Craggy and I'm just like, And it just turns into this like
Poor
it's like-
Craggy.
black, like dark black with like gold bands kind of around it and like this sort of fluted silver handle. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
Since it
I'm just
makes
holding out.
noise all the time while you're like spinning it and playing as a flute, is it one of those like cow things when you tip it? It goes,
But it's like a chorus of voices.
every one of you are like, you're gonna just be like, no, I only drink out of my own cup.
Yeah, no.
So they'll fill it up for you, no problem. They don't seem to be aware of anything else other than serve beer. Like that is and anybody who's been around in an area like you all have forever, beer golems. Avoid them on the road because if you get too close, they can get hostile just because they'll think that you're attacking, and they are specifically there for defense of the product. And B, don't worry about like thinking that they're actual people. They are completely constructs. They are literally a barrel with legs. Eve might not know that though.
Yeah.
Eve is probably huggling her snuggle beast.
I always love to huggle that.
I turn to Eve and I'm like, supposedly it tastes like swill, but I suppose if we're going to be judging, we ought to at least know sort of where the bottom of the barrel is. No pun intended.
I literally have nothing to compare this to. So,
Except for the wine last night.
well, yes, and that was fantastic.
Well, right, I have a feeling it's probably not going to be quite that, but cheers.
Cheers.
There is a cup for you as well.
Thank you. I don't have a craggy, but this will do.
It is nice. It's not nearly as bad as everybody said in Six Hills. You may have had a Meadstead mead before.
Yeah.
You did grow up in Malagoth,
Right.
and like they're
I am half dwarven after all.
Yeah, but it was one of those things like coming compared to the wine, it's definitely a lower quality, but you know for a fact that it is definitely cheaper, so you get what you pay.
Not bad. We can only go up from here, I suppose.
I hope so.
Does anybody else want to partake in that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing the whole brew
You're the whole
bash.
circuit.
You're doing
So are
the-
you
I'm just
starting?
not
Are you
judging.
starting with the gold?
Oh yeah, I'll just follow them around.
Pub
basically.
crawl.
The golden mile.
That's right.
I want to try and like walk around to each of the what's it called? Each of the areas, and I want to just like within my blind sight range, just to be able to feel out like where the crowds are.
Okay. Yeah.
And I probably won't take very much, but wherever there's the largest crowd, I'll probably.
Okay. Yeah, so you start kind of like making a circuit around. You're not really interested in the beer or anything. You hear a couple people off to the side kind of whispering about which bounder is the best, and you can hear them saying like, "No, I'm pretty sure that Kenku's got it this year. He's been really good." I'm like, "No, that guy that can make his bounder go really fast. I swear he's got like some sort of demon magic or something in that. It's crazy." So you get a little bit of that, and you get a little bit of like the crowd, the different areas of the crowd. So that may come into play. Who knows? Okay, so you guys finish off with that. What is Bolt doing while we're
I'm actually just
while we're doing it?
hanging out with Ezra, or just kind of maybe tagging a little behind, because I'm still taking the guard duty kind of seriously.
The beer golem puts the nozzle over your head and then just kind of moves it off. not a container.
I pat it on the shoulder and go, "Sorry, friend, not today."
Bolt, do you drink anything other than oil?
Yes, I've actually partaken of this many times, but
Not your favorite?
no.
Is there a legal drinking age in an area?
Yeah, probably. Do I know it? No. It's probably like 18 or so.
Okay,
Yeah. It's a medieval world, so alcohol is probably better than water in a lot of places. Like just
More
so.
sterile.
Yeah, it's probably, and it's probably not like too, I don't know. That's a moral question for the comments, not for me.
And is it
Yeah.
per race? Because some races.
Yeah,
are
some
per
races
race.
are-
How old are you? 19?
20.
Yeah, I think elves can't drink till they're like 100 or something like that. Which is super. That's a whole other thing. Never mind. I'm not getting into what I think about elven aging.
Yeah, that's weird.
Look out for the video called Corey's Rants. It'll just be Corey ranting into a microphone.
That was today's DM's episode, actually.
Can't wait to watch it.
Yep. That would that'll already be out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys head on over to this first booth with a pair of farmers, and they're kind of older couple. They definitely have like those. We've been farmers for a long time. Hair wrinkles.
Does one of them have a pitchfork?
He does, but it's off to the side. Yep. And the woman smiles and she goes, "Hello, welcome. How are you today? Wait, you're judges.
Yeah, how did you know?
They announced you. Balin announced you and showed you off. Here, and she grabs one of the bottles from underneath and she pulls the stopper out and she pours each a little bit and she says, "Here is the finest wine that Esther has been able to offer. Not my name, the village name. My name is Gale."
The village of Esther.
Yes.
And where is it located?
It is located in the Verdant Farmlands.
Verdant Farmland.
Yep, so if you just... And she kind of points towards the long road, which kind of leads off, and you can already see it. I think it already took to the Verdant Road. The Verdant Road is kind of an offshoot of the long road that leads down into basically just village after village after village of farmers.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different smaller rivers that come off of the Aurelius. I have the map right here. I should be able to just say this. But the Aurelius River, that southern river.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things is like, I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Open tab. Now let me see it. Yes, it is the Aurelius River. They kind of, in fact, here, I'll just show you guys since I do have the map up. The Verdant Road comes down and this whole area is just pretty much nothing but farmland villages.
Right.
And it feeds a lot of Aneria itself, just with the exports of the farmers. They're not wealthy, but they're not poor, you know. And there's really no structure other than each individual village. And Esther is just one of the small villages in there.
Okay.
Is it a family business, Gail?
It's a village business, actually. We've all been... we decided that this year we wanted to do something special. Usually we do like a little community thing where we plant a tree or two for the local druid circle, or we try and help out a village in need. Yeah, we re-thatched a couple of roofs last year, but this year we thought, why not get the town together and do something that we can all be proud of? And so we started working on the best wine that we could make. And it may only be a year old, but it is very good.
I'm anxious to try it.
As am I.
Let me go ahead and roll a quick performance check for this. It's not bad. It's it's better than the Meadstead mead. It's definitely more standard wine. Obviously, wine takes a long time to really. Well, depending on who you ask, wine takes a long. And I wasn't looking at you like you're the wine snob or anything. I always just look at you when I'm making controversial statements.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basic red.
Yeah, but depending on who you ask, like, wine takes a long time to ferment and be good. Other people might say that it doesn't matter how long you drink or how long it takes to drink wine. It doesn't. You can taste the difference no matter what the bottle is. I'm staring right at the camera for effect, and okay, but it's not bad.
Okay. I say, well, that was excellent. Thank you.
No problem. Is there anything else that I can get you? We have a couple. I think we have some goat cheese if you'd like.
Sounds lovely.
Bribes get you extra points.
Goat cheese.
They know the game, and
I hope
and
it doesn't come out on a charcuterie, because the
no charcuterie.
yeah, that would have been awkward.
Brock, would you please grab the cheese? And he's like, sure, yeah, of course. And he brings out the cheese, which is on the back of a goat in kind of a wooden frame thing. It looks very nice
fresh.
Yep. I mean, like he's like, don't worry, it's not from this morning, but it should be plenty good.
Is it from that goat's milk?
Yes, it is.
What's the name of your goat?
Twiddle.
Twiddle.
Mm-hmm.
Twiddle cheese.
Like, how does it smell? Does it smell like standard goat cheese?
Yeah, it smells like standard goat cheese.
Okay.
Whatever that smells like. Horrible, I imagine.
No, I like goat cheese.
Okay, so you guys move on after having a nice little bit of goat cheese. Gale and Brock Farthing were their names. They thank you and wave you off and tell you how to have a great festival, and you can hear them whispering, like, I think that went really well. You know, as you
Bolt
go
walks
by.
up to him and I go, do you mind if I take some for the road?
Of the wine or the goat cheese?
The goat cheese.
Of course. And she preps a couple little like squares for you, you know.
I take it, I'm like, very pungent. And I walk away like holding it in my hand.
Perfect. To answer the question, yes, Warforged do have olfactories. So you guys
This
move
one
on
does.
to the Edequathan, and they
Made in a
both-
factory has an olfactory.
Still nothing. Shame. So you guys head over to the Edequathan booth, and there are two just large. They look almost. The coloring is very reminiscent of great whites, and they just kind of they look down at you a little bit. They don't nearly have as bulbous heads as street sharks do, which unfortunate, but you know it's fine. And they both kind of just look down at you, and then one of them turns to the other one, and he says, "Judges." The other one goes, "Judges." And they, again, it's like they've got all these bottles kind of set up on the table, and they reach down and pull out a special one, and they pop it off, and you can just immediately, like, you want pungent, it's just like immediately everything around you is just kombucha.
Just breathe it in.
And they pour you each a little bit into one of the coral cups.
Do they have to scrape the SCOBY off the top first?
Yeah, a little bit. and they will hand it to each of you. And they say, from Edequathan Arthur. And then they'll pour just a regular one for you. Yeah, sorry, you don't get the judge's one.
I
Ezra,
say,
you can have a
what's-
taste of mine.
what can you tell us about your kombucha? How is it brewed? Do you flavor it with anything?
They tell you everything you want to know about kombucha.
Yeah, sorry.
Is it like-
It probably doesn't make for great
Yeah.
like.
No, I personally don't
No.
know. Actually, first of all, one of them goes, "What do you want to know?" And the other one's like, "They're not going to steal our plans." And then he goes into a diatribe about how they ferment the kombucha basically in turtle shells. Yeah, like underwater specifically. So it's a process of like putting the shell in and making sure there's like a good clay around it. And yeah, like it's a whole long process. I don't want to get into it.
That's fine.
With salt water?
No, fresh water. There is actually no salt water in Aneria. All the rivers are fresh water.
Fresh water at a quantum.
Yep.
Okay. I just
I
take,
know of no
I take a
other
drink.
type. Do you?
Getting hints of lime, coconut,
That smells delectable. Yeah, so.
and
Of course, and they'll pour you one of the regular ones.
I don't know, something I can't identify.
You put the goat cheese in it
That's
like it,
turtle
like
nuts.
marshmallows.
Turtle nuts.
Is that a hint of anchovies?
No, it's very tropical flavored.
We can't afford anchovies.
Besides anchovies, I think only survive in saltwater.
Oh, well, there you go.
Not. So do sharks.
Fresh
These
water
are
anchovies. These are
not
these
sharks.
are well. Okay, so anchovy people exist now.
Anchovy
Oh wait, no, that implies a lot of humanoid on humanoid eating. I don't know if I want to go that far yet.
Fish all fried.
So anything that you can imagine that is saltwater has a freshwater counterpart in an area.
Excellent. Okay.
I'll just go ahead and say that just to clear it out of the air, just because.
So I stop asking questions.
Yeah,
I see.
River whales.
How
River-
can we
Yes, there are river whales. There are a few
Shut.
river whales.
River
the
kraken.
front door?
There hasn't been any signing of a kraken, but they are very rare.
Dragon turtle?
Nope, no dragon turtle that you've ever seen.
So how's the kombucha?
It is really good. Yeah. Like I don't know kombucha. I've never. This
It's
was
okay.
literally a throwaway joke for Colby. I knew he would take it too far. But yes, it is actually very tasty.
I want to know what they flavored it with.
Delectable.
Let's see.
Sushi.
It would actually be like a seaweed, almost. So, but probably a little bit. They probably have some sort of like special fruit that they have down there. We'll say it tastes a little bit like underwater pineapple. Yeah. All right, I should have
Anyone
told
in-
you I should have gotten
Can
drinks.
anyone in chat describe what
Kombucha nerds.
pineapple smells like
I
underwater?
was
Yep.
gonna bring some tonight.
Yep.
Don't drown yourself.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Interesting.
Moving on.
Thank you very much. What were your names again?
Oh, I'm Hathor, and this is Mirth.
Hathor and Mirth. Thank you for sharing your spirits with us.
Good luck in the festival.
I'm not sure his name matches his demeanor.
yeah, I was going to say something, but they looked like they had very sharp teeth.
And
They
Rose.
both smile at you.
Like huge.
Yes, huge shark-like grins
Nice.
at
This is the
you.
Artificer there.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Victor, did you want to try any of this?
Hard pass.
All right.
Is there any vodka?
I don't know. Let's go to the next group.
Let's find out. So the next one actually has what appears to be a similar to a beer golem, but it's a horse constructed out of panels of wood and sort of a barrel. It is it's specifically, I think they're called keg ponies.
Keg ponies.
Yeah. It's a keg pony, but it is essentially a pony keg. And it acts like a normal horse, like it's actively like chewing a little bit of hops in its mouth, and it's kind of like looking around, stamping its feet a little bit.
Is it like actively brewing beer? It's like eating the hops. And
So,
like,
so as you kind of ask
You
that
hear it
question,
gurgling inside.
a gnome comes around from the corner, and he's already got 2 cups or 2 steins ready for you, and he says, "That's right, actually. What we do, here you go. My name is Flitwick.
Are you sure?
Battle Bristle, yes. Sorry. It's been a long day already. But what happens is we have our special pony kegs, keg ponies, whatever they're called. And he boom, slaps the side. And he says, and we feed them hops and then let them run around, and it ferments the beer or the meat in their bellies. And then we just tap them right under here, and he points right under the the keg pony. And
Hold on, you mean to tell me this thing has another?
I'm super interested.
yes,
Like,
actually,
so-
essentially, yes. Here, come here, friend, come here. And he guides you over, and he helps you like tap your hands around the thing, and just like helps you
Okay.
feel under it to the tap.
I don't like this.
Few people can get the hang of it, but it's very good, and the meat it produces is fantastic.
I just say, I think this is the most wonderful thing I've ever seen, and I just drink it.
Make that sound.
So is it a mead or a beer?
It is a mead specifically.
Okay.
Actually, so
Meat is honey.
it says.
Yeah, mead is like
Oh yeah,
that,
sorry.
right?
It is a dense beer. It is a
Okay.
dense
So
beer.
it's like a
So it's
like
very
Guinness or something.
yeah, it's very
And a
dense.
stout.
It actually tastes it tastes fairly good. It's about the same as the people from Ezra produce actually,
Oh.
as far as that goes.
Right. Well, it tastes wonderful, and
Maybe the explanation of
And-
how it came to being probably
Yes.
soured the taste.
no, actually, no. I was gonna say, but it tastes lovely, and you have by far the best presentation so far. I just want to add that.
Oh, thank you. We do take pride in our friends here. And he dom dom again, and the horse whinnies, but it sounds really hollow and yeah,
Sounds like an
it
interesting.
almost sounds like Bolt was whinnying.
I'm sorry to ask, but did you make this, or do they breed?
Oh no, we make them. Yeah, definitely make them. We
Okay, I
have
feel
our.
better now.
So we're the we're Bittermare Brews,
Sprout the tap.
and the Bittermares here are all constructed by our lovely artificers.
They're quite talented.
What was the first place?
Fascinating.
So
The town?
the Esther was the village. Yep.
Oh yes, and where are you from?
Oh, we're from here in Pelbent.
Oh,
Yep.
excellent.
And he kind of eyes a little bit, and he says, "Well, you've already been to those 2. I saw you on the approach. The rest of the booths that you're going to see are all Pelbend competitors here. We like to compete every year. And let me tell you, I would avoid the Morlaine Chateau this year."
Is that
Lit-
we already had that, did we not?
Oh, you probably had a different vintage. Every year is a new vintage with new presentation. I just hear that this year's isn't very good.
Fireworks were pretty.
Well, as judges, I believe we're
Pretty.
maybe a little obligated to try them all.
Fair enough.
But thank
fair
you for the
enough.
warning.
Well, of course.
What was the other quadrant's name? Sorry.
The other class's name
Mirth
was
How far in
Saboteur.
Mirth?
Yep.
Half that?
Hathor.
Hathor.
But have a wonderful time at the festival.
Thank you.
And he goes back around, and you can hear a slight like as he's tapping this keg pony again to get more ready for the other people coming. And you do get one as well. And it's from the same pony. It's not like they're not discriminating like, oh, let's bring out our best mare for you or anything like that.
How are we
Bring
feeling?
out the good pony.
How are we feeling as far as
Inebriation level?
Yes.
This is a very like taste testy. Like they don't give you a full thing.
It's like the Coke store, the Coca-Cola store. You just get a
So
tank.
I guess go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. From
apparently someone can't handle their liquor.
That one and a
You guys are like,
We're not good judges.
21.
You're fine.
Like, I'm getting drunk off kombucha. It's really wrong. So I'm
Maybe we shouldn't have had that
I'm
Meadstead meat before.
Yeah, I'm a 6.
6 and a natural 1.
Oh,
You guys are
freaking-
tipsy, so you'll just take kind of a -1 to all skill checks. Right now, you're stumbling
Tell
I
along.
kind of put my arms around him to keep him from
Yeah.
tipping over.
Like, I'm not sure if we can. How many of these were there?
Ooh.
There are 4 more.
It's a stage.
It's hard to
Yes.
More.
Oh, we're at a bad
All right,
place.
moving on to the next one. So the next
It is
I
like
would say you're at a
17,
very good place.
I think I've decided.
You're in a great
You're in a
place,
wonderful place.
and we have to clean up your mess.
Decided
So-
I will not partake. So we need someone to be able to at least get us home.
I can't wait to get on one of those bunny rabbits.
That's right. We still got the Bounder race after this. They may need to do like a breathalyzer. There's like an Arcanum with like a magic wand. Nope. Sorry.
Too inebriated to bunny.
You can't drink and ride.
Do you have a way to restore yourself? I know some paladins have this.
Oh no, I feel
Aye.
great.
Don't waste it. Don't waste it. Should we do one more?
So the next one that you approach is kind of this big elaborate booth that's got Chateau Marlane listed into it, and a pair of humans in robes man the booth, and they gently blow bubbles filled with sloshing wine to customers walking by. And as you approach, they kind of cock their eyebrows and nod to each other, and you can see like kind of this big vat that they've been kind of conjuring these bubbles from. They kind of both wave their hands over it in these multicolored. They're not bubbles. They are like there's like a cube and a triangle or a pyramid shape come floating out to you, and they say, "Hello, judges.
Ooh.
Hello.
I see that we have already enjoyed a few of the festivities today."
Do you have anything to cleanse the palate?
Well, cleansing is what we do, and the man kind of moves the pyramid in front of you, and the woman moves the cube in front of you, and he said, "Just feel free to pop it and open your mouths."
I'm gonna do an insight check on this guy. See
Sure.
how he sounds.
Okay.
I don't trust
Yeah,
magic all
I'm
that
just like, I'm game.
I'll do it.
So you pop it, and you open your mouth, and the water or the wine itself looks like it's about to fall, and then it just kind of starts swirling around itself and creates sort of like a ring, and then every now and then like a drop will come out and land in your mouth, and it'll just like slowly drip feed you kind of the perfect amount of wine to give you like a taste. And it's just whenever you open your mouth, this ring that continually floats around your head will deposit
Every time you
another
say
little bit.
something, you're like, so,
It,
how? What?
come on,
Damn it.
it's Chateau Marlane. They know what they're doing.
They also make
And-
1 in
fireworks
10
go off.
times.
And how does it taste?
Oh, that's a very good question. So they do introduce themselves, by the way, as Galen Hawk and his apprentice, Margaret Nickelsides. It is divine. Yep. Like, it is very fruity.
Okay.
I would say is the best way to describe it. Every now and then you kind of give a little bit of hiccup, and it's almost like it's not a bad burp coming back up, but it gives you like another sweet little taste of it each time. And Galen is actually, for those of you who want to know, Galen is a what is the name that I gave him? There's a specific profession that I made just for him, and that is he's a sommelier-mancer. Is what it's called. Yeah, he's a sommelier-mancer. And specifically, Chateau Marlane is kind of each individual bottle that they produce, which he explains to you as you guys are slowly like, Each year they make a new grand statement, as they call it, with a new bottle of wine that has special properties to it. They talk about a few of them. You recognize the fireworks one from that you guys enjoyed last night. It definitely was one of theirs as well. So yeah.
Galen, this was divine.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Now, before you guys continue, just because we want to be fair to all the competitors, you probably want to head over to that booth over there. And he directs you over to what is essentially a medical tent. There's a couple clerics that are just kind of like looking over small injuries. They may be able to give you something to kind of help you along with the rest of the competition.
It's like whoever has the booth at the end would win because you go through them all and be like, oh, that one's it.
That was so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're drunk.
You don't drink the mead mead until you're already.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the
how you finish
coaster,
the
as they
night.
call it. Coast you through the night.
Yep.
Well, I want to be fair, so yes.
So you guys stumble on over to the medical tent. We'll go ahead and hand wave that because I don't have too much prepared for it. They just kind of put two fingers on you and say,
Do a little-
by one and such's blessing.
Lesser restoration.
Yep, lesser restoration, clear away. No headache. You guys kind of come down from that little bubbly high feeling, and you're just like, oh yeah. Then you open up your mouth and another little tiny.
Yeah, I kind of want some more of that.
Yep.
Is it still
They are.
good?
The rings are very small at this point. Like the last little bit like drops into your mouth.
Okay.
And it almost seems to like flow around your tongue, like the ring's still circling around there a little bit. So
That was amazing. Should we finish or should we take a break? Maybe we should finish. We're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's finish.
How many booths are left?
there are
Three more?
three more.
Three more.
So the next one is a single woman in a red mask and kind of she's wearing elegant red silks and she's kind of dancing around and she's sort of dancing around the booth and kind of dancing around the fairgrounds, and this long trail of frothing liquid is kind of flowing behind her in almost a serpentine pattern. Every now and then it looks like it makes like a dragon head and then kind of falls back into itself. And as you guys kind of approach, she weaves her hands around and it kind of slides along her hand but never like touches, and she deposits it in two glasses and then hands them to you and just gives you a quick bow, and she says, "From the Millibrax College," and kind of dances away. And that's her name is Tessa Tanoki, if you want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just say, oh, we had a lovely time with some of your students earlier. Thank you.
Oh, I'm not a teacher, but friends, probably.
Do you know someone who has blonde hair and a rapier and a face that you want to punch?
Brander? You guys are talking about
I
Brander?
believe that was his name.
I'm sorry you guys had to meet Brander.
Oh, it's quite all right. We gave him a good thumping.
Oh, good.
I shouldn't say we. I didn't really have much to do with the thumping, did I? It was mostly him.
I thought him a lot of this.
I'm glad that thumping was had, at least. If you guys are interested, go ahead and have a drink. Tell me what you think.
Please, thank you.
Thank you.
Take a drink.
Let's see. It's just about at the same level. I think this is an ale. This one specifically. Oh no, this is like a multicolored drink, so it's probably like a mixed drink,
Okay.
and it's just a little bit below what you expected the other one to be, but it's nice and airy. I guess would be the drink. Give me a good descriptor word for a drink.
It's like a Long Island iced tea, but
Yeah.
a little too much coke in it.
Yep,
little too much
just a
coke.
tiny bit. Yeah.
A little too sweet.
A little too much of carbonation,
Got
but
it.
it still tastes pretty good. Like
Like, yeah.
it's good. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
After following the chateau, it's hard to
Yep,
compete.
exactly. And but she does give you a bow, and as she bows, like the water or the Long Island iced tea, why not? We'll call that turns into like a pair of angel wings that kind of flare out and everything, and then she moves around. Yeah. Presentation, it definitely is a category.
Sarah,
Alright.
did you go to university?
No. Well, I was raised in my mother's court, in the summer court, and then after she passed, I basically spent the rest of my life thus far, anyway, training with my dad and serving in the Vanguard. I suppose my education was a little more practical and perhaps a little less bookish, which would explain my 8 intelligence.
I see. It seems fun.
It's weird that you quantify it that way in character, but I get it.
8 out of what? 5?
On a scale of 20.
Well, I believe without magic items, the cap is 20.
Well, I think
Um,
you're wonderful.
Well, thank you. The feeling's mutual, as you know.
Yes.
Victor.
Knock it off, you love birds.
Aren't our stuffed owl bears so cute?
Wait, go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw. I need to check something really quick.
Yeah, was as I suspected.
7.
You lightweight!
That Long Island I see had a little bit more alcohol in it than the
I was wrong. It needed more coke.
Victor, you actually smell the booth and the vodka coming from it before anybody else can see it on approach. A pair of dwarf strongmen haul a sack of potatoes up the top of a complex-looking machine, pouring them in along with other herbs and spices so quickly that you can't tell what is being put in. The machine is it looks like it's just a set of complex stone gears and slammers, making a rhythmic and almost hypnotic drumming as it churns ingredients. But you're not quite sure what happens in the machine, yet the end result is a clear liquid that the dwarven woman pours from the tap onto the booth.
Is it like the yodeler on that one game show? And then it would fall
Yeah.
out?
Price is right.
And she, as you approach, she looks you both over and she says, "Judges."
The best. The best judges.
Right. Well, here you go. Here's the hardest drink you'll ever have in Pelbend. And she hands one to you as well.
Oh, please.
And
I will take one.
I'm
There you
from
go.
I'm from Malagoth.
Cheers,
I can
Victor.
handle dwarven liquor.
And I probably can't.
Go ahead.
Down the hash.
I just shoot it.
It hits hard.
Nice.
You have had dwarf. Yeah, you are definitely like
I
coughing.
think this is what you've been looking for, Victor.
And
That is quite good.
yeah, it is literally like the hardest vodka that you've ever tasted. But it is definitely that blend of herbs and spices that they have in there. Definitely give it more than just a kick. That gives it a really good like pop. So yeah.
I would like
It's
to as
very
well.
rich.
Of
and
course.
smooth,
And
but
she
still
hands it
bites
up to you.
the throat.
And she goes, "Can I see the inner workings?"
That's quite personal.
Right? Apologies.
This is like a really good solvent.
Yeah, I was about to say that probably cleans out.
It
real
kind of
good.
doubles as that for our machines too. We never have to clean the inside of them.
Take a little bit on some of the rust or the corroded spots and go,
Yeah, cleans right up.
I'll take a job.
Perfect. And she says, "Technically, I gotta sell it to you in jug form, but it's 5 silver
Okay.
for such a lovely machine.
I'll take one for the road as well.
Do you want a jug too?"
You
Yes,
can't
please.
tell, but I'm blushing.
Yeah. And she has your jug with so many X's on it that you're not even sure how many X's it has.
Like,
It's an 11X
Yeah.
rated.
I can put a leaf over the top and the leaf just kind of...
Yep.
It has like a spout to keep it from sparking and
Yep.
This was interesting. And what is your name?
I am going to tell you in just a second. I'm Geltreed, and these are my sons, Myrtle and Habit.
Myrtle.
Myrtal.
I was thinking.
Just say,
At Myrtle and...
Habit.
Habit.
And we're the Rockhopper Distillery.
Oh, I love it.
that tastes like my dad's beard grease, but in the best way.
That's high praise there.
It is.
So-
How do you know what your dad's beard grease tastes like? This is very disturbing.
You ain't been a dwarf if you ain't know what your dad's beard grease tastes like.
You get a hug.
Fair
and you get a
enough.
lot of
Absolutely.
So you're from Malagoth, right?
Indeed.
Grab your
Well,
zebra, right?
I
So-
suppose eventually, yes.
Have you seen the follow shields here?
No, I have not.
Well, probably best to avoid them. That clan's up to no good as usual.
Do I know about this?
Go ahead and
clan?
roll me a history check.
Oh, there's my good rolls.
By the way, I do need another Constitution saving throw from both
That
of
would
you.
be
bad you
a
don't have-
14.
A 14.
It's too bad you don't
3.
have Dwarven Constitution.
You're going up at least,
Yeah,
right?
I'm 11.
Both of you are now taking a -2 penalty to
Okay.
all skill checks, and a -1 penalty to all other rolls,
Okay.
except for Constitution saving throws.
Got it.
Wow.
You do know the clan Fallow Shield. They have a history of being kind of ruthless mercenaries. They were exiled from Malagoth, I would say,
All right.
a couple centuries ago. And they kind of wander the world as hunters. Every now and then, like, a Fallow Shield will come back to Malagoth and drop something off in the Grand Vault, which is this ginormous... I think it's called the Grand Vault, if I remember correctly. Which, let's be honest, I don't. Let me just pull it up here. The Tragedy of Clan...
I feel drunk just watching you pretend to be drunk. Like, what is happening?
I'm not going to be able to drive home.
I feel a little dizzy all of a sudden.
Really?
Are these? Would these also be something that
The Swedish Adventures by
the Ranger had run into
Even
with
so,
ever?
yeah, so you would probably... They're rival mercenary groups.
Can I hit
They
real
are
hard a
hunters
little
of aberrations,
You're
devils, and
asking
demons,
something.
though, as well. Basically,
Dangerous.
Yes.
basically their clan, which used to be called... Nope, that's the wrong thing. That's the dungeon. Wait, what dungeon? What are you talking about? They used to be called Clan Brightshield, and they were one of the best clans in all of Malagoth City. They basically held the Grand Vault, which is this ginormous vault that holds all of the trap crystals that hold beings from other planes and unnatural beings, or just like really bad evil creatures within crystals. And they have this Grand Vault in Malagoth City. You were been there at least once with your dot, but they were betrayed from within. One of their own kind of betrayed them and unleashed, I think it was something like 84 different creatures inside the vault. Not at once, like over the course of a year, and they didn't notice it. And so the king of Malagoth City had them banished and stripped of their name, given them Fallow Shield, until they were able to bring their traitor clansmen to justice and return all of the damaged souls. So they've almost, as far as you know, like they're like the individual souls have been kind of lost to history about who was lost, but every now and then one would show up, or a clan or a portion of the clan would show up, and they would deliver a trap crystal and then leave. So they're not necessarily bad. There's just a lot of stigma around them.
The Fallow Shields. That's a name I haven't heard for a while. I wonder how they're doing in their quest.
Well, as far as I know, there's a huge group of them just outside of Six Hills, and she kind of points off into the distance where you can see kind of the trailing smoke of a camp that's been set up. They didn't want to come inside. They're apparently just a caravan looking for a quick stopover. They're heading straight to Malagoth, actually.
Interesting.
But I'd stay away from them. They're a bunch of rottens, if you ask me.
Well, I've definitely run into my fair share of the unsavory followers of that clan. I can say that much. I had to throw a few in the brig in my day.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a bad story about a Fallow Shield, that's for sure.
Well, thank you for this most excellent
Cleaner?
beard grease.
Of course, yeah. You may want to make another trip over to the tent there. Just,
That may
can't-
be a good idea.
yeah.
Tent it is.
Do you need help?
I have-
Would you
Ezra.
please escort them?
We can handle this.
Eve, come along.
Yeah.
Victor, it seems that you and I are the
I
only
have like both hands under
capable
your armpits. And you're just like,
You're walking, but you're not really
I'll just
walking.
pick you up a little bit. You're just
My
like,
feet are still moving.
I see, I'm not drunk at all. I'm totally walking straight.
Yeah, we'll go get cured.
Okay,
Go get
yep.
cured again.
The clerics kind of roll their eyes a little bit and fix you up again, and they say, "That's all you can have for today. Unfortunately, we obviously don't have enough medical for everybody,
Of
and
course.
too much is too much sometimes." So,
Well, I believe we only have one more stop, right?
perfect.
Here we go again.
Hopefully,
Fine.
it doesn't kick like a Narpeline like that last place.
So the last tent is actually it's a kind of an open teepee, almost. I guess there's Is there a better word for it than teepee?
There's wigwams or
Like a wigwam.
longhouses.
It's not a longhouse. It is definitely like a tent
A tent.
that has been set up with like sticks and animal hide around it.
Is it
Yeah,
like a
still
dome?
in circle
Yeah.
side?
Mhm.
Still TP.
It's still a TP. Yeah.
I was just wondering if there was like a different descriptor for it other than teepee.
Is it pick up and movable or is it stationed? Like
It's
it was-
movable.
Circus tent.
So I'm in 10.
Small circus tent.
I guess, yeah, tent. Tent would be a great word for it. And in front of that tent, a minotaur in a long kilt pulls spices from a pouch and sprinkles them into what appears to be a churning elemental made entirely of rum.
Wow.
And the elemental stretches out his hand and pours itself into cups for a few passers-by. And he looks over and he says, "Oh, hello. You're the judges, correct?"
Indeed we are, and this is our final stop.
Ah, wonderful. Well, I am Hollix Half-Earl, and this is the Nature Brew. And he says, "Say hello," and
Sounds like
the
it's right up
elemental
your
like
alley.
kind of like
Yes.
waves its hand a little bit. He says, all of our brew is brewed in harmony with nature. The water elementals here help us churn it up and get it to perfection. We've got fire elementals that we use for heating. Earth elementals help us plow the fields, and wind elementals bring in the rain. Like, it is all a perfectly balanced system, and they absolutely love it. Isn't that right? And the elemental like nods its head, and it definitely looks like it's just an elemental responding to weird command things. So it's not entirely sure if it's actually a self-aware or not, but you get the feeling that at least it thinks it is.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, we'd love to sample.
Of course, do you have your own cups or?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, great.
Actually, no, I never changed it back. It's still in.
Yeah.
It's still in mug form.
I would love a cup.
And he grabs
You're still
one of the
drunk,
cups
you
and he
change
takes your
back
cup,
into
and he
a
just like
spear and
he just
all
like
that
scoops them
alcohol.
right into the elemental and grabs you a good handful. And he says, "Since you're the last one, or this is the last one for the day, please enjoy Nature Brew rum."
Oh, thank you. That didn't hurt by chance, did it?
And the elemental.
You said they're the last judges.
This is the last booth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as judges go, they're the first ones here. I can see Ignis making his rounds, the old salt, but still haven't seen that Ainor.
Neither have we.
That's concerning.
I take a drink.
Let me go ahead and roll the performance check here. It's fine. Like, unfortunately, like compared to the last few booths, especially after your taste buds have been burned away by vodka. It is good. Like it's still on par with. It's still better than for Esther and the kombucha, just because. Unfortunately, they're not professional distilleries. They're kind of individual.
It's like
But
the gluten-free or the sugar-free variant.
Yeah.
I'll do.
Okay.
It's better as a
good.
mix-in.
Yeah,
It's not a good standalone.
and as you guys are drinking it, what is his name? Hollix. Hollix takes a giant bucket of water and kind of pours it into the elemental, and it kind of grows a little bit, and then he starts adding a bit more spice and a bit more rum to it. So.
That's cute. I wish I had one.
I mean, and he scoops a little bit out, and he says it won't last forever, and it kind of grows its own little legs and kind of like starts wobbling around a little bit. But he says it should last for a few minutes at least.
You have your own rumental.
I would just keep it in like a
Rumental.
tiny little bowl, and then once it's destabilized, just go ahead and drink it.
But I don't want to drink it. You're adorable and perfect.
And it gives you a little
little calcifer.
yeah, splashes a little water.
Thank you.
No problem at all. And then you hear the announcer saying that the founder race is about to start because we've spent probably about we spent about a half an
I'm just
hour.
imagining that
time.
rum elemental is like the giant Kool-Aid man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, sounds like the race is about to start. Shall we go see?
Yeah. Enjoy. Best of luck in the judging.
Thank you.
I'm not sure you should be riding or driving a bounder if your condition.
No, the nurses fixed us up.
Going to
What
give
is
me another
it?
Constitution
The nurses-
saving throw.
That's okay. That's 14.
7.
I'm still just
Plus,
like
still getting
in my head.
Plus,
I'm
yeah, your
still.
Constitution.
She's got like a +2, right?
That's two.
Yeah, you're both fine. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a drink of rum. Like it was just one.
All right.
Basically, starting from sober and having one cup of rum. Like I think you're okay.
Be careful. Just feeling good.
Cup.
It was a
Like
big.
a couple ounces.
That's
you
true.
probably
Actually, he didn't
okay.
give you a full cup.
I
Yeah.
only took a little sip because it's too cute.
Well,
Did you pour the rest into the elemental?
Yes,
'Cause-
make it
yeah,
grow.
make it a little bigger. Yeah,
So squishy.
it's definitely like very squishy now. It's
I like
kind
it.
of deforming a little bit. All right, so are you guys gonna head over to the stands and watch the race? Now, here's the important part. Does anybody want to bet on the Bounder race?
I will find the nearest bookie.
Yeah. The goblin sees you approach and he says, "Hey, friend, looking to place a wager?"
That I am. I'm not sure what are the odds currently.
Currently, look up odds. I see.
Who's the underdog this year?
Currently, the underdog.
The underbounder.
Well, unfortunately, much to the chagrin of her clan, is Strangle this year.
Strangle?
Mhm. She is a hobgoblin. And I can't remember her bounder name, but I will.
That sounds good. I heard there was a Kenku in the
Oh yeah, Trill.
Trill.
Obviously
Yes,
not
yes.
his name. His name is the actual word, or the actual sound. Trill.
Yeah.
It's just I can't make it.
Hey, it's okay. I probably couldn't do any better. I will put 10 gold on him.
All right, 10 gold down on Trill. Sounds good. That's only 2-1 odds, by the way.
That will be okay.
Perfect.
2-1, you said?
2-1. Yeah. Anybody else?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right. So I need to find the. So everybody kind of waits around, and you can see that there's this grand human, kind of a very elaborate looking bard. He's definitely got the open chest, white shirt, and he's got a wand that he's using to magically project his voice in the usual Harry Potter manner. Why not? And he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a fantastic season, but now we are ready to race. Let's go!" And you guys have missed all the other preamble just because we don't need to go through all that. So the race begins. Now, out of the individual racers, like again, these kind of bars are knocked down because it's an old-fashioned count, and these giant rabbits come thundering out, and they just come racing around this long track, and it's going to be the full 1,000-yard circuit that they're running.
So
here.
instead of chasing a bunny on a track, it's like a carrot on a track.
Well, they're all have riders, so they don't need the carrot.
But still.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, it looks fun. I'm just trying to see if I can find.
Does anybody else want any?
All right,
popcorn
so-
before I eat it all. Does anybody want
To let you know, we've got the racers again. We've got Kless of Clan Balin. She is riding on Master E. Vosfelin Stridefoot is a halfling male. You don't actually have to write all these down, like for if you don't want to for the recap. He's riding Blissful Wake. Temza Halleck is a gnome female, and she's actually from Manaport, and she is riding Red Fury. Dimble is a male gnome. He comes from the Freewind Scrappers, and he is riding Mr. Hops. Melina Hardwake is a half-elf druid from I think she's from the Bleakwood Forest, one of the elven clans there. And she's riding Sweet Caroline. Trill, which, can somebody make me a bird trill? Yeah, thank you. He is a Kenku male, and he is riding Drumbeat, which, again, is an actual drum beat that he makes when he announces, like, the rabbit or the battery he's riding. Then you've got Morik Modius, who has also been, like, a high contender this time. He is a gnome male that people don't really know where he's from, but he's riding a bounder named Hellrider. And then you've got Strangle.
Vicious rabbit.
Has red eyes.
Yep,
It's
it
albino?
definitely it is albino and has red eyes for sure.
Okay.
And then you have Strangle. She's a hobgoblin female from Bordergrad, actually. Her clan raised a gruff little lady for her to ride. Burtik is a kobold male, and he is from. Actually, it doesn't say where he's from, but he's riding a bounder named Nagelnasher. And then finally, Quinson Tramble. He's one of the ones that people have kind of also forgotten about. Strangle is just a little bit below him because of the standing so far. But Quinson is a human male rogue with the magnificent Steve as his mount. Yep. And they all take off early on. Kless from Clan Balin takes the lead, which gets a huge cheer from the Goblin clan. And I need to find the actual. There's the race results again. But it looks like Kless's bounder appears to be already moving a bit sluggishly, and Trill quickly overtakes her. Burtik is in a close third, and Morik falling behind in last place as his mount struggles to get its footing.
Only if Trill makes his way to the end time.
It looks like he's pulling into the lead.
And it's definitely like all of this is being commentated by the bard in a
Okay.
much more succinct fashion than I am.
It's like the
Fashion.
two-headed
Fashion.
pod racing around.
Yeah, exactly. Bonda. Yeah. there's a giant blobby creature that just knocks a tiny creature off a ledge. Yeah. So then what happens is pretty much the next like 6 seconds into the race or so, because everything's going pretty quickly. It's kind of in standard combat rounds. Kless gets thrown from her mount. And Quinson and Morik both. Quinson kind of leans onto the side, and you can see this human rogue kind of riding on the side, and his rabbit just like picks up speed and starts taking off. And you can also see Morik and Hellrider start like going faster and faster. You can see Hellrider's kind of frothing at the mouth and everything, almost leaping in more than he's running specifically. However, it quickly kind of goes to Kless. Unfortunately, she falls behind. She gets injured. There's a lot of bad things that happen to her. And in the end, we have 4 more people are thrown. Melina, Quinson, Temzia, and Strangle are all thrown at one point from their mouth. They get back up quickly, like and get back on the road. But in the end, Trill actually comes in first place. And the crowd kind of goes wild, and you can hear bird calls coming from a particular Kenku section. So 20 gold, my friend.
Good bet.
That was after you minus the 10, you get that back plus 10. Yep. So just so you know. Yep. Just make sure you don't add. And then Vosvalin comes in second, and then Melina Hardwake comes in third. She actually didn't lose too much ground when she got thrown.
So the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. And last place is actually Quinson. Comes in last. Strangle comes in. Oh, they actually come in just about the same time. But yeah. So there was a lot of going on. I had a huge chart, a bunch of different rules that I added, and we're just gonna throw all of those out the window. And the bard goes, "Well, there you have it, folks. Trill's gonna come up here and get the diamond cup, and in the meantime, anybody who wants to be part of the amateur race, please go turn in your token or pay the $5 gold fee. $5 fee."
Those bunnies are much less fluffy than I think I imagined. Perhaps we should not.
It sounded like a lot of fun to me.
Fun, but dangerous.
It was
Not that I don't think you
full.
couldn't handle danger, Vic. But yeah.
Are you scared?
I mean,
Have some courage. Come, let's go. Show me the way.
4 of them fell off. I don't know if you know
Could I-
that.
I
What
want
is
to
life
ask,
without danger?
someone in the crowd,
Mhm.
if this is...
You find a goblin.
Excuse me, Sir Goblin. Is this typical of a boundary race to have so many fall from their mounts?
You know what? Not really. Like you get 1 or 2 maybe a race, but 4 in one race, that's pretty unlucky odds. It's almost as if some divine hand kept rolling ones.
Interesting.
I did not. It was not a good race for me.
And the bounders that are for the amateur race, are they...
No, not nearly as fast as
Oh,
those.
okay.
No, you got. They're a lot slower. They're kind of the more just stable ones. I mean, all bounders are pretty fast, so you got to be careful when you're around them and when you're riding them and when you're behind them and all that. But
okay.
Then-
Do you have any tips or tricks?
Any particular rules to be aware of?
don't cheat.
What constitutes cheating?
Probably leave your fancy knives at home, or at least
Alright.
off of your person.
If that's all.
Yeah, I mean, standard. Don't be a dick.
Sounds good. I could do that.
Sage got the goblin advice.
Yeah, that practically the motto of Clan Balin, I suppose.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of
I
course.
appreciate
It's
that.
Best of luck to you. What was your name again?
I'm Victor.
Hey, Bookie, give me 5 gold on Victor.
I like you.
Like you too. Mug, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
well, if you're determined to do this, I don't think I can let you go alone. Let's do it.
All right.
I will be cheering from the stands.
Okay.
Anyone else care to join us?
Do you want me to hold your knives?
I'll try.
Yes, and I will hand her all the knives but one.
How many knives do you have on you?
Well, there's like 6.
6? Okay. So it's not quite the scene where they keep like pulling out more and more.
Yeah,
And the race is over. Ah, crap.
Yeah.
Bolt, did you want to participate in the bounty
I don't
race?
think there's a bounder in this world.
I don't think there's anything in that black bag for me.
You walk around the bounder just like
You just carry the bounder.
Yep.
Yeah, I just on my shoulder. I'm not that fast.
Yeah.
I'm not a monk, okay?
Perhaps the boulder bag, the boulder bonk might be a bit more your speed. But yeah, okay. So you guys can get down there. You hand in your free coupon. So is it you three? Ezra, are you?
No.
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 Okay.
Those
So
two.
who?
So we've got
Who's just gonna join us?
Seredan, Ezra, and Victor. All head
Do we
down.
get to meet the bunnies beforehand?
Yeah, that's actually the plan. Another goblin, very clearly wearing the Clan Balin symbol, of course. Kind of takes your tickets, unless you guys want to pay the 5 gold and save your free ticket for later.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, go ahead and pick one. Kind of get to know it a little bit, and just see if you can find the right bounder for you.
I want to walk in, and I'm going to do it by either smell or by hearing to see which one seems less afraid.
So go ahead and give me, I'd say perception check from you, and either of you can do a perception or an animal handling or a nature check.
18.
18? Yeah, you find a pretty decent one. We'll say,
That's a good bounder. Here's a snack. And I'm going to give it one of the sugar.
the hasty pops?
Yep.
The hasty sugar bombs?
One of the hasty
Yeah, definitely not cheating.
They didn't
10.
say what it did.
It munches on the pop and kind of like starts like jittering a little bit. Again,
That's
it's
a
like a
good-
lollipop that is basically cracking into.
That's
10?
a good bunny.
You find a nice little brown one, but like you're not really sure what you're looking for, so you just find one that looks.
Say,
Instead of,
This
it's
one
got kind
looks.
of floppy
This
ears.
one looks cuddly.
Yeah.
I
12.
just want to snuggle it.
12, about the same.
Alright.
You've got a little bit more experience with farm animals and pounders in general, but not enough that you can pick a good winner out of a crowd kind of thing.
Now, I don't know your name, Bunny, but I can't see, so you're going to have to tell me. You're just going to have to go. I'll trust you.
It kind of just like shakes a little bit, you know. It's a bunny. I'm not sure what you're waiting for here. But
Just
you hear
making him a
amateur
bond.
riders, please all come to the starting posts. And they do, like, there are goblins that help you. They're not just going to be like, here, take a bounder for free, you know, like whatever. They'll help you kind of set everything up and get the saddle properly in place and all of that. So you guys can go ahead and get mounted. There are several other people, goblins, other people from out of town. There's one particular that looks like he might be from a minor noble house in Terrebonne. He's not one of the major 11 houses, but he's definitely got finer clothes on, and he's just laughing like a kid in a candy store as he's basically riding what is essentially a giant hare. So, and then we're gonna go ahead and the race is gonna start again. There's a little, I guess they didn't really do like a crystal shot or anything, but you hear like one of those firecracker crystals goes off in the air, and the thing comes down, and the bounders all take off. They all seem pretty instinctive to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So what I need from you guys is either
It's because of the
an
carrot.
acrobatics check to
thing.
kind of distribute your weight evenly to allow the bounder to go as fast as possible, or a nature check to kind of soothe it along and kind of make sure that you're not putting too much strain on it in any one area.
23.
19.
16.
And from the stands, Eve says, Ezra and Victor and Seredan, we are here to cheer you on. Come on, Bolt, say it with me.
Oh, Ezra.
And
Victor
Victor and Seredan.
Seredan.
Good job.
We are here. Go!
It was close.
Does anyone else in the stand start picking
Yeah,
up
no.
on it?
Yeah, like there are a few people that are like, yeah, Ezra, but most of them end it with go. Unfortunately, that picks up a little more
Take a
steam.
humble.
Yep. There are a few that are like, hey, yeah, go Jack, you got this, buddy. And the nobleman's like almost falling off of the bounder already. He's a bit pudgy.
He's like
yeah.
hanging upside down.
So that was a
19.
19,
23.
23,
I thought you said.
and a 16.
16.
Okay. You guys are doing pretty well. Victor is in the lead. His bounder seems to know exactly what it's doing, and he's picked pretty much the perfect one. And I'll let you get advantage on the next roll that you do, just because I forgot for this one, because you did meet the bar to get a kind of a racing bounder. Okay. And you two are pretty close behind.
Okay.
And nobody else has been able to catch up to you so far, so let's go ahead and get another round of checks.
Especially with that candy.
Oh dear.
Same.
Natural one.
Oh, no.
Ruh-roh.
Okay.
24.
24,
Same, 25.
20,
Or
25.
sorry, 23.
Okay.
18 plus 5. I can't.
Yeah, so we'll get to you in a second. You're starting to pull ahead a little bit of Victor. You're probably about neck and neck with him at this point.
Ezra is.
Ezra is. Yeah, Ezra and Victor. Yeah, sorry. I need to keep remembering to do that. Thank you. And you can hear the chant going on, and I think what happens, Sari, is that you hear the chant and you kind of like turn to wave to your friend, and you turn a little too hard and you pull the bounder's reins with you, and it kind of skids to the side. You fall off, and I rolled a natural one as well, so you cause a pile up behind you of other racers. So you're going to take a little bit of damage
when you
here.
get the junior driver to purposely crash so you can take the lead.
Yep.
We're all on the same team.
Yeah, we're doing this on purpose.
As I'm falling, I just like to say, I want a cut of your winnings.
So go ahead and take 8 bludgeoning damage as you kind of roll along. Yep.
Half my health.
It's dangerous.
So
Most
you
motorsports are.
there's definitely some goblins in the pile that are groaning, and they're like, "What was that? What did you do?"
Sorry, boys. Sorry. I got a little distracted by the floppy ears.
That makes sense.
So floppy.
One more round of checks.
The whole crowd just going,
Yeah.
very floppy.
Whatever.
Totally agree.
Got a point.
A 10.
10,
That was a 22.
22. So unfortunately,
And that was not with advantage, right?
yeah, that wasn't with advantage. So unfortunately, the few racers that are left pull ahead of you. Your bounder is already tiring out. It's falling behind. You come into last place, but you almost had it. And then actually, Victor gets first place. So, and you can hear Mug going, "Hell yeah! All right."
That was for you, buddy.
And he goes over to, you can hear him go over to the bookie, YouTube, Eve and Bolt. He kind of goes, you know, it was blind, right? Probably better odds for that one. No? Okay, all right then. And he takes his winnings and heads off. But yeah, the crowd is cheering Victor at this point. Actually, Victor, go.
Victor, go. Victor, go.
And Sarah, you kind of just make your way off the ranch hands, I guess, the bounder hands kind of guide you off. They're like, it wasn't bad for. That was your first time at a bounder, right?
Apparently, when it comes to animals, I'm more dwarf than I am elf. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, good luck. Good luck next time. Yeah, you did all right. Yeah, and they kind of just. I never seen tumble that bad for that, I'm sure. As they're walking away. All right, so you guys finish up with the bounder race. You return your bounders. Actually, the one that Victor brings in, like, there are a couple people waiting around, and they're like, who's that? Whose owner is that bounder? We need to know, because he was pretty quick on his feet. Like, it was pretty clear, like, how fast he was and how sturdy that bounder was. So you may have just sold a new racing bounder. You don't know.
One that was doped up on
Doping.
magic candy.
His eye is twitching.
Yeah, hopefully they don't.
That's right.
Hopefully they.
I forgot that it was doped up too. That does explain a lot as well.
Hopefully they don't.
Do any sort of testing?
Yeah, there's no like drug testing.
Not on the amateur.
And from this moment forward, there was drug testing or magic testing on all bounders.
You did that bounder a favor, though. Now they're retiring him and putting him out stuck, right?
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
He's got a good life.
Yes, good luck, yeah.
Too bad he's like infused with sugar bomb magic now. Actually, that's probably not a bad thing for.
He's gonna have
brain
really fast offspring.
Yeah.
For a bunny his age.
So you guys kind of convene again, and the party moves off. Probably heading over while everybody's getting ready for the Boulder Bonk. You guys head over to maybe grab another Meadstead or something like that. Kind of see what other booths they have to offer, and you're just getting to the area where the brew bash is. You can see that Saul is just finishing up his round. Still no sign of Einor. When you guys kind of hear this crack, and all of you stumble a little bit as the earth rumbles beneath you. And you can see a little bit of the earth kind of shifting and moving. It goes right underneath one of the booths and kind of cracks the Chateau Morlaine and kind of goes off on its tilter. And and then the ground kind of bursts outward, and this earth elemental comes out and just slams his fist into the ground and lets out this roar that sounds like an avalanche. And streaming out from beneath him are these smaller dirt elementals that look, frankly, they look adorable. But they're like little round blobs with little stub arms and legs, and they've got shields and weapons made out of dirt and stone, and they just start rushing the people, and everybody's starting to run. You can already hear shouts and warnings, and you can hear the crackling of a portal opening up as the Arcanum are starting to make their way in. But we're going to go ahead and roll initiative because it is time.
Please.
Can we do a
But
bio
before
break?
that, I would have healed you.
Oh, yeah.
Give you
Thank you.
some heals. There. Back to full
Yep.
health.
Okay. Initiative time. Ezra.
25.
Woohoo! Wow. Victor.
But easy. 19.
Plus.
It's because when you become a chronology wizard, you get to add your intelligence.
That's right. To your initiative.
Cool. I don't think we don't have to come back until after we're done setting everything up. Seredan.
17.
See, I got it rotating.
Eve.
Every 30
16?
seconds it rotates between.
Bolt.
8!
One up from last time. Good job.
I try to save my high numbers for
Damage.
damage rolls.
Yeah, double crit last time. Yeah.
That's the only luck I'll have this entire campaign, so.
All right. So here's the board set up. You got the little guys in the back, the big guy in the front who looks very menacing and almost like way more than you guys can handle. And then in the very back, you've got the Arcanum guards, maybe the Arcanum guards that have set up a pair of basically magical shields. They've come in and they've set down these kind of big barriers that light up with almost Gungan-esque magic barriers, and people are getting past them. And you can see that a couple of the clawed soldiers have been like hucking these dirt spears, and they've just been shattering against the magic. So that space, the shield space, and any space adjacent to it, you will be considered heavily obscured. You have a +5 to AC, I believe is what it is. Or if that's not what it is now. So
Okay.
here. And then at the top of the round, as you guys are like gearing up to go in against almost insurmountable odds, the portal that's opening up behind you lets through one more figure, and Justicar Grand Whitehall goes rushing past, and she says, "Take care of the little ones. The guards will get everybody to safety." Before she charges forward and slams her force maul into the earth elemental, knocking him back into the Chateau Morlaine booth and shattering it on top of him. And you can see that as she brings this two-handed maul up, you can see it kind of glow and ripple with magic, and it slams and just kind of, there's a shockwave that bursts out from it. And so she's going to be fighting that off while you guys try and clear up the rabble and get everybody else out of there.
She kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but now I like her.
I mean, she's Arcanum. Like, take that for what you will. But it is Ezra's turn first.
All right. Well,
Gren.
Whitehall. Yeah.
She is the champion of Six Hills.
all right. I'm going to move and try and get behind one of these. 30.
Yeah,
Is that-
any space adjacent to it should be fine.
Okay. Cool. And then I will cast a spell.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna do magic missile here.
Okay. And
So,
who are you targeting?
I'll go for this guy right here.
Okay.
And I'll do all 3 darts. Just.
All right. So go ahead and roll me the damage for the darts, please.
So. So that's 12.
12 damage.
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of 3 darts. What does Ezra's magic look like? This is the first
Ooh,
time that we see any sort of like personal magic effect. I
it's
mean,
like-
the firebolt's a firebolt, but
Right. It's kind of like this orangish magic, and it has almost like a tracer effect.
Okay.
Behind it as it launches out.
very cool. And they swirl around your party and they slam into the soldier, or this cod soldier, and they boom, take off one of the arms, boom, take off the other arm, boom, take off the head, and the thing just kind of explodes into dust in kind of a burst around it.
It's gone.
It is gone.
Cool.
Does it make any noise when this here? Is it just like silent?
Ezra.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Does it make any noise?
The magic? Yeah, it's like got like that whistling. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I almost forgot. Go ahead and give yourself advantage on your first attack roll because you kind of scoped out the place and you know where not to hit. You've spent your time while everybody else was drinking. You spent your time walking around getting the lay of the land. So you'll go ahead and get advantage on that. Okay, cool. So first blood to Ezra. Very well.
First mud.
first mud.
First mud. And then it is Victor. It is your turn.
Alright, I will spend my turn getting close to them. So let's see. 10, 20, 25. I'm going to attack this one with my dagger. I assume after that I would have had collected my things from, or has that been enough time to get my daggers back?
You would have already gotten it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Because you guys were on your way back to the festivities, you would have already gotten your stuff from you.
Okay. Advantage. So 8. So I
8?
swing, and I think he's taller than he is, and I completely whiff.
Okay. Yeah, you get a little bit like a little tuft of dirt on top of the head, just like, but it doesn't even seem to phase it.
I will use. I can't use. I mean, disengage isn't gonna help me on this with my cunning action. So that's it.
I mean, it could help you just. Oh no, I guess disengage only lets you move.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for my turn.
Okay, perfect. Then it is Seredan.
Okay. Run up 5, 10, 15, 20. Say, you're adorable, but you seem to be scaring everyone, so it's a 22 to hit.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll me.
Let's see here. Right, so just using. So 8 damage. And then as a bonus action I'll hit it with the butt of my spear. Or try to anyway.
Butt action.
24.
24 does hit.
Or 5 more damage.
Okay. Yeah, you slice into this thing. This one appears to be a little bit muddier, less hardened dirt, and more just kind of like softer mud. And you slice right through it, and then kind of come around with the staff and knock it to the side. And it stumbles one way, and then it stumbles the other. So yeah, did some good stuff, but it is still up.
Okay.
And it is its turn actually.
Right.
And it is going to it kind of bubbles up a bit. You can see more dirt kind of flowing into it, and it kind of bulges, and then it spews mud on you. So I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. I'm gonna use inspiration.
Okay.
That's better. 20.
Yeah, you
No pun intended.
slam your staff into the ground and kind of do that kind of kick up dancer to get out of the way of the mud. That looks like it quickly starts hardening after it leaves you, so it definitely would have left you a little worse for wear, but you're able to avoid it.
Okay.
Let's see. Then it is Eve's turn.
Okay. So Eve is going to cast Bless on Bolt, Bolty Boy, Vic, and Sari.
That's
Just saying.
D4.
D4.
I think some of you may need a little help, Victor, and so I bless you.
Is there any sort of specific magical effect that happens with your bless, or? Because again, this is kind of the first time we're seeing everybody's.
Yes. As I cast it, I kind of put my hands out and little flower petals come out.
All right, perfect.
Nice. One from your bless comes up and just attaches to my flower crown.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
They like Japanese cherry blossoms, or
Yeah. Oh, totally. I love that. And then I want to move up just a second.
And then are you wielding your sword and shield, or are you doing a your long sword and two hands?
Sword and shield.
Okay.
You have plus 2.
Oh, and I am.
I mean, put that around your you can put that around your fingers.
Yeah, I'll actually go for this.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry,
might wanna
little
go.
guy.
It looks a little bit drained after that. It's like, not again. The other one of those more muddier looking ones is going to go, and he is again onto Victor. So give me a dexterity saving throw.
That's
You have
nice.
to add a d4 now.
And then add a d4.
Dex save. 3. Looks like a 5. So that's gonna be 14 plus my dex save. 20.
Yep, you are good. Yep, you're able to. You hear it coming, and you just kind of sidestep through the mud.
It's
Yep.
like a cat barf.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I know. No, I got
Yeah,
it.
gotta get out of there. Okay, and then the soldier closest to Seredan. Here I go, attacking her constantly again. Gonna move up and try and stab at you with a spear. Most of these, in fact, despite what they're wielding right now, they all have a stone, or not a stone shield, a dirt shield and a dirt spear in their hands currently. And it is going to roasted you with a total of 15 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. That's it. That's all it does. Yeah, that's all it does. Okay. Yeah, so he comes in with the stone thing and you just knock it to the side. And then it is Bolt.
I'm gonna basically raise my finger, and you see the end of it kind of heat up, and you see a little flare basically go out and land, and fairy fire.
Okay, you're gonna fairy fire.
So I'm gonna fairy fire in a 20-foot cube. Yeah, so basically centered on this person. Centered right here.
Okay, so you don't hit the justice.
So I won't hit the Justicar or Victor.
You're gonna hit those three. Okay.
But those
What is
three
the saving
are
throw
all
that they need to
fairy
roll?
Dexterity saving throw of 13.
So 2 of them fail. The middle one makes it though.
Okay.
As I guess the one of them kind of melds into the ground a little bit as the flare comes down. The one in the middle sees it coming.
So,
The other 2 get
so the
wreathed
middle,
in this.
middle doesn't get it.
Yeah, the middle one
These
doesn't get it. The other 2 are fairy. So you now have an advantage to attack them. So I want to just. Let me say you can just pick them up.
I want to do things the hard way.
Yeah, of course you do.
I'm concentrating. And then I'm going to move right here.
Okay.
Next to Sarah. And I'm going to attack that one.
Okay.
No, wait.
Fairy
Yeah,
fire
Fairy
is
Fire was an
action.
action, so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And then we've got 3 more soldiers. Or
Still breathing.
2 more? 2 more, yeah, just 2 more soldiers. And they are going to move towards Victor. What is their speed? They have a speed of 20.
4. One can't quite get
Okay, so he's going to dash to get to the other side. We'll do it on the other side. Yeah, we'll put him right there. And then that one can probably make it. Yep. And he's going to charge and trying to hit you with his spear. And he rolls a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm
And
just
again-
dancing back and forth.
Yeah, you started like a nice little rhythmic dance. Now you're avoiding the.
It is
blows
quite
at
rude
you.
to interrupt when one is dancing with one another.
And that brings us to the top of the round again, as the Earth Elemental breaks free from the wreckage, and we're gonna see what happens here. Yeah, so the Earth Elemental gets the upper hand this round, and he slams his fists into the ground. So I need everybody. Yep, all of you except for Ezra, to make me a strength saving throw, please.
Crit!
Nice.
Thank goodness.
Does Bless apply to this stuff?
Crit save.
Bless does apply, yes. 12.
So we can add D4 to it.
Yes. Yes.
It's 20, 30, 20.
21.
Okay. 21. And then,
18.
so,
Can I add this?
yeah, you can
Okay.
absolutely add that.
Plus another 5.
Okay.
So
17?
17.
Yeah, so you guys see it slam its fist in the ground and this ripple come out, but you all brace yourselves expertly, and nobody falls prone as this kind of rumbling hill.
Sarah just pushes off with her staff and jumps and lets it go underneath.
Yeah.
And you can see the Justicar also kind of like slams her maul into the ground to kind of steady herself, but she's unable to make any progress this turn from that attack. So, and then let me just go ahead and roll. 3 more Claude soldiers are going to come out of that same hole back here. Angry little dirt men. Dirt folk. 2 more regular ones.
Which hole? This hole?
Yeah, that hole. Hey, a Mudmen hole. We're so prepared for this one. 1 ones.
Nice.
They really are
Nice.
adorable.
You squint your eyes, they're like Ewoks.
So I started.
Yeah.
Star Cruiser. Crash.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah?
I'm not the only one that's saying that. Like, Star Cruiser. The
Ewok Adventure.
York Adventure. Wherever in Courage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caravan of Courage.
Caravan. Yeah.
So they're going to be going at the end of the round, but they claw themselves out. Ezra, your turn.
Alright.
You had a pretty effective turn last turn.
I think I'm gonna cast Sleep.
Oh.
So it's basically 5d8 hit points for any amount of creatures within 20 feet of a point I choose within 90 feet. So I'll just go here and just try and see if I can put those 2 to sleep.
Okay. What is the condition that it specifically puts them under?
Let's see. Yeah, the sleep. They fall unconscious until the
Okay.
spell ends.
So unfortunately, the sleep spell kind of sprinkles over in this orange dust, but it doesn't seem to affect these elementals.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
worth a shot.
That's right.
Guess
Okay.
that's it for me.
Alrighty, cool. You've definitely gotten a little bit of attention though from that. Victor.
Alright. Well, if we are going to dance, let me at least teach
Oh,
us.
from
Justicar.
the Mudmen, not the Justicar.
I'm out.
They all turn their heads.
Yeah, just like
Some of them don't even turn. The faces just kind of
They
sucking
melt
Mudmen pop out the back.
it's that weird, like they look like they're sturdy, but then all of a sudden, like the dirt cracks. And, yeah, it's not pleasant.
Not as cute.
Listen, if we're going to dance, I might as well show you the steps. And I rolled an natural 20. So
Ah.
1d4 plus 3. Oh, it has
Can
max
your
damage.
baby water elemental
Plus
help us at
4,
all?
5, 6, 7.
What?
Can your baby water elemental
8,
help us at
9,
all?
The
plus
realm elemental.
He is definitely like still around. He's very like blobby at this point.
9. So
He's
12 total, including. Wait, sneak attack that was.
Max
12,
your sneak attack.
6, 18 total.
On which one are you?
On the
attacking?
one that I was originally attacking
Okay.
with advantage.
Yep, that is the softer
This
looking
one, right?
Yeah, that one.
Yep, and you definitely cleave. What was the total damage? Sorry,
That was 18.
18. Sorry, no, he's not dead.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Ooh.
These ones are less hardy but more pointy.
And then I will use disengage.
And then you'll use
Run that way.
Okay. So where are you moving to?
I'm just gonna kind of back my back up to Seredan, I think. And be like,
Okay.
on your left, or yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
Thanks for the warning.
And it'll basically just like be kind of the ceremonious whatever.
Seredan, it is actually your
Okay.
turn.
I'm gonna take another swing or two at Mudman. The
Never
guy-
apologize for the concern.
So that's a 20, dirty 20 to hit.
20 will hit. And that was the one in front of you, is that right?
Yeah, the one that I hit last time. And that is 9 damage.
Okay. He is still alive. Dang. These things
With the butt action.
action.
That's a 15 to hit.
15 will hit.
Okay. For 4 damage.
4 damage. He is still alive.
Should have hexed him.
He's definitely like, you've sliced a good chunk. In fact, I need to roll.
Is once smiling
Oh, wait,
Mudmen
no,
face is
not
now
for this one.
frowning.
Yeah, it is now definitely like, he looks like a melted snowman. For sure. But he is still alive in time to take his turn. He's going to go ahead and try and recharge his mud breath. He does not. So he is just going to try and slam you with a muddy fist instead.
Still catching his mud breath.
Yes. That is definitely not going to hit. That's an 11. So, Seredan, again, he kind of
Got
just
my
like
shield.
swings. Yeah, and you just... Do you have a shield too?
Yeah, it's a spear.
Oh, that's right.
It's just a spear
Spear
for
and
now.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at your finger. I don't
Yeah.
see the shield there. Yeah. Okay, and then it is Eve.
Okay, I will attack this guy right in front of me.
Okay.
With my long sword. That is a 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
So that is 10. Plus 3, so
Plus 3.
13.
Yep. So you go straight up with the long sword, cut him in half, and he the little parts kind of float in the air for a moment, and then they just burst. So everybody within 5 feet needs to make me a saving throw.
You're blessed on it.
A
That's right.
dexterity saving throw,
So that's
please.
just Eve and Sarah.
Eve and Seredan. Yep.
Not good.
16.
16.
Roll your d4 too.
She's not
blessed.
blessed.
Oh, that's right. You.
Mm-mm.
She did the blessing.
5.
5? Okay, so Seredan's able to bring up her shield and block the mud and kind of just like do the 300 scrape it off. You know, it's a little bit less cool because it's just mud. However, Eve gets covered with it. You are restrained until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
As this mud again hits you and then just kind of starts hardening and slowing you down and keeping you in place. So
This guy's toast, right?
that guy is toast. Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the other mud guy. He's going to try and recharge his breath. It's not. He's going to charge forward at the now restrained Eve. And he's going to try and hit you. He now has advantage. So that is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. Then you'll take 6 bludgeoning damage as he goes, like, you can't bring your shield up in time and he just kind of starts pummeling you with that muddy fist. It's a little adorable still, but...
You're so cute, but it hurts.
Yes.
Yeah. And then...
Like puppies.
Although it
So cute,
seems
but-
like the dried mud would give me extra armor.
I like your
Is that a
style,
bark skin?
but no.
Okay.
No.
You have to try sometimes.
You fail 100% of the shots you don't take.
And you have to make a concentration check.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
10 or half the damage.
You're technically in the negatives with those lines.
Bad puns.
Then
In a
you're
good
good.
way.
Good.
Yep. Next is, I believe, the Clawed Soldier next to Seredan.
Okay.
He's going to see an opportunity, and he is going to shift away from Bolt to attack Eve. Or is he in the? No, he's within range to attack Eve already. So he doesn't have to.
Yes. He was right there, and he's adjacent.
Yeah. We need to move over one.
No, he was right here.
Because she's
She's technically in that spot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
the rings do.
Yeah, they make a
tend
little
to-
bit.
So he's just going to try and thrust a dirt spear at you, and he rolls a natural 19. So,
Okay.
assuming that
Good.
hits.
Yep.
I tell you the actual total, but then you know what their bonus is. Which I guess doesn't really matter.
It does. We talked about this today.
I know I heard all the ranting from downstairs.
Don't tell Colby.
That's 6 piercing damage.
You little son of a ditch.
Literal. Go ahead and give me another concentration check.
Literal.
I'm good.
And then, Bolt.
That was good.
I'm just gonna swing at this one and just swing at Eve.
Okay.
Just use my club.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Yeah, so you go ahead and you just kind of slam into the ground a little bit. You send a little dirt flying, and this thing's got a couple like sod patches on it now. It gets a little sod goatee. It is now pure evil.
It's the Guy Fieri.
Yep.
Please tell me it has.
Yep.
Okay.
It definitely does now. Yep. Thank you, Bolt. You've created a nemesis.
I'll get you. I'll take you to Flavortown.
Dirt Fury.
Then we've got the two soldiers there, and they are actually going to they do that whole like cracking turn towards Ezra, and both of them just sink into the ground and then appear right next to Ezra, and that's their whole turn. But they both like pull themselves out of the ground. They've got their spears and their shields ready.
You have a +5 to your AC.
Yep,
Yeah.
you are next to that bonus shield.
So
that is
are
good.
they technically? Or well, one of those. Do they get
Friendly creatures only.
Okay.
So friendly to the Arcanum, which Ezra is considered friendly to the Arcanum as far
For
as
now,
they know.
for
And then the other three over here are going to march their way towards the nice little group of adventurers.
Oh.
Are they
We
gonna,
go.
are they
Yeah,
gonna
they actually.
dash?
Oh no, they have a ranged attack, so they're all going to move up to there, and then
Throw
we're
them
going
all.
to do. They just kind of like scoop up a hunk of dirt, or from their person, or from the ground, and they will huck one at Bolt, one at Seredan, and one at Victor. So Victor, I believe they're out of your blind sight range. They get advantage on you for this. So that is going to be an 18. Oh, sorry, a 17 to hit. That hits. Okay.
May
And
I
then,
ask a question?
yes,
Are things that we ate, how long did they last for?
they lasted for an hour.
Okay.
So it
So
probably,
it's the effects are probably.
yeah, they've probably
by now.
worn off by now.
Okay.
Yep. But you do have more. Keep that in mind. I think it's just a bonus action to eat any of the sugar bombs.
Okay.
If not, it is now, because that's how we're doing healing potions. That's how we'll do those.
Okay.
Here's the attack against Bolt, which is only a 7.
That misses.
And then against Seredan is a 12.
miss?
So yeah, they kind of just like send this. They darken the sky with dirt clods, as it were, and only one smacks
Reminds me of
Victor
when I
in the
was
shoulder.
6 years
Fairly
old.
elementary age boys.
Yeah,
Having dirt
dirt
clods.
bludgeoning
Clods.
damage.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And then top of the round here, we're gonna go ahead and roll for Dirt versus Arcanum. Yeah.
Did you get hit? On that? No.
No, I wasn't.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So the Earth Elemental kind of charges for the Justicar and brings his hands up, and she kind of spins her maul around and goes like this, and she almost just like hits the air, and the temporary shield slams down, and he just, and then she brings the maul around and just like expertly swings it and smashes through one of his arms, and then she shouts, "Keep going!" and everybody can gain 5 temporary hit points because she did very well this turn. And then Ezra, you're in a little bit of a precarious
All
situation.
right. As I see them pop up, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, Craig!" and I'm gonna flip open through not that spell book, but just a little journal and kind of remind myself. And then I'm gonna cast this spell, Sword Burst,
Oh, perfect.
and it's 5 feet around me. They need to make a Dexterity save of 14.
Dexterity is definitely not their strong suit, but one of them does make it. The other one fails. So we'll say the one
Okay.
on the left fails. The
Alright.
very fire one.
So that's 5 damage.
5 damage. Okay. What type of damage is that?
Force damage.
5 force damage. Okay. That does. 2. Could have color coded them. Didn't. Okay. Yeah. So one of them kind of gets sliced. Oh, roll me a D100, please. And just tell me if you get 10% or below.
I'm above.
You're above? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they have a feature that you can technically destroy their limbs and the weapons that they're holding if you there's like a 10% chance whenever you hit them. So yeah. But nothing here. But you definitely like this orange swirling magic of blades surrounds you for a bit. They kind of back off a little bit. But yeah. Victor, it is your turn.
I will step forward and I'm gonna attack the one next to that I was attacking earlier. That has the
Fairy fire
fairy
on it.
fire on it.
So roll with advantage.
19. Well, that works. 18. So 19 was the first one.
That is definitely going to hit.
Yeah. So that.
You get sneak attack for this as well.
4 plus the 6. That's 4, 5, 6, 7.
7?
7 total damage.
Okay.
And it's slashing. But,
Ah.
and I'm using just the blades.
Okay.
And as I'm kind of like walking forward, it's in kind of like a paso doble. If anyone knows what that, it's very, very kind of like stompy dance. And trying to soften up the dirt a little bit for her. But
Yeah, it is. It's kind of working. Yeah, I mean, you definitely do some damage. This one again is one of the muddier ones, so it's definitely not as sturdy as the other ones.
Okay.
Seredan.
All right. I'm going to step up here as well. So, there.
Okay.
And make an attack at Muddy.
At Muddy?
At
Britches?
Muddy Britches.
Okay.
Or is he a muddy buddy?
He's Muddy Waters.
17.
17 will hit.
For 6 damage.
Yeah, you kind of just shield bash this thing and it finally bursts.
Nice.
So it's going to do, everybody needs to roll me a dexterity saving throw, so that would be actually everybody with 5 feet. So this side of the table,
Everyone
Seredan,
Victor's
and...
not in 5
Are
feet.
you kidding me?
Yeah, yes.
21.
I would have been.
It was
I would
right here.
He would have been in 5 within... No,
No,
not
I
this
was
guy,
talking this one.
the muddy one.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pretty sure I failed.
Okay,
6.
Yep, you are restrained until the end of your next turn.
You already
You already were,
restrained
so
him.
I mean,
Yeah.
Just more mud.
Yep, it's just more mud. You just cover it like another
It's like
splattering.
a facial.
19.
19, you're good.
21.
21, you're good. Okay.
So then, as a bonus action, I'll try and
Yeah,
hit
so
the guy behind me.
You know, shield bash, and then you kind of just
Yeah.
smash your butt.
Smash your butt into
He's
him.
like,
Yeah.
Smack it a little booty bounce.
That's right. That's a 22.
22 will hit.
Twerk him into the
Oh,
ground.
yeah.
Like a whack-a-mole.
6 damage.
6 damage.
They call it slapping the cheeks.
No. Why is this happening?
Because we're all like 5 years old mentally.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you definitely heard it.
Okay.
But you can tell like the armor is pretty hardy here. So
That's it.
the muddy people are dead. So it is Eve's turn.
I
You're
will
restrained.
Yep. So you can't move this turn.
just hang out in my mud.
Okay.
bath.
There
You
is
can attack
one
this guy.
within range if you like.
I'm restrained.
It's just
It's
you
just-
can
I'm
attack
moving
but
just
with
can't-
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yep, you can
And
attack
your
with the
movement speed
disadvantage.
is 0.
Fine.
As you kind of just like you're trying to get your arm to actually like bend properly.
Nice.
How
Two
funny.
11s.
Yeah. It's a
Plus.
16.
That does hit. So go ahead and roll that
Nice.
Nice.
11.
11 damage. Okay. Yeah. So you kind of break the little bit of dirt on your arm, slash down. Go ahead and roll me. Actually, both of you roll me a percentile. Actually, is there a way to do a 10% on a d20?
Yeah, 2 or lower.
2 or lower? Yeah. So go ahead and roll me a d20 and.
I got a
You crit.
not 20.
You
That's
wasted.
funny.
You wasted a crit.
I know.
So no limbs lost, but the creature definitely is looking like it's seen better days. But it still has a turn. You're no longer restrained,
Yes.
which is nice. And the creature is going to try and just stab at Seredan. Nope, that's only a 7. So
Miss.
good there. And then you've got Bolt.
I am actually going to just break away, and I'll take the opportunity attack.
Okay.
And head towards Ezra.
Alright, it was cocked. 19.
That does it.
Okay.
Bitch.
And that's going to be, you'll take 6 piercing damage for your trouble.
But I will use my reaction,
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
which is interception.
Okay.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
So, 1d10 plus 2.
You're gonna just intercept all of that.
9, 10.
Right. Yeah, so you start taking off, and this thing was like, Warforged, but tries to stab you with the spear, and then another shield. The shield with does it have the crest of the trio on it? Your shield?
I think it should.
Yeah. So a shield with what appears to be 3 white fangs on kind of like a green background slides into place and takes the brunt of it. And actually, because I think that's pretty cool, it's going to shatter that spear too. So
It's gonna break the spear.
it's going to break the spear.
No, maybe
I'm
it'll
gonna
be the
move.
order of the shattered spear this time.
So I'll move up 6.
It's a branch off.
Very original name.
Right.
Yeah. It's the Aneria branch.
Yep. The shattered branch.
And then I'm going to dash the rest of the way to get right up next to Ezra between these 2 guys.
Perfect.
Awesome. That's it.
All right then. So we're going to go
That's
ahead
it.
and
Level
do
2. That's it.
those soldiers are going to take one more swing at Ezra because they don't really see you coming. So
They don't hear.
I mean they do, but they're pretty focused on
Yeah.
this mage.
There's lots of
They're
other
mud,
noise.
they don't hear very well.
One of them
I'm surprised they don't have like
Dirty
tremors or
rolls
something.
a 22
I'm gonna use my reaction and cast shield.
and cast shield. Okay.
So an additional
So plus
5.
10. Yeah.
So so I'm at 22.
Is shield 5? I thought it was 4.
Well, but he's got.
Yeah,
It is 5, yeah.
it is 5.
5
Fine.
and then an
Okay.
additional 5. So.
Yep. Yeah, so you take like the shield that the Arcanum has formed, and you just like pull it even further and take that, and the other one is even lower. So both of them are just gonna like dum dum.
Alright, I'm out of first level spell slots. It's cantrips from here, guys. You don't have to
Yay,
pick up
second
level.
level.
But at least I'm alive.
These 3 again are just going to huck.
Or clouds.
Yep, one against Ezra, one against Eve, one against Victor. So Victor will do the
Yes,
first
Ezra?
with advantage. Not Ezra.
I was like, whoa,
Sarah,
that's some
long range,
so
yeah.
range. I'm gonna go.
That is a 17 to hit Victor.
Hits.
Okay, and then we've got Eve is a crit,
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Critical dirt clod!
and an 8 against Seredan.
It's in your eye.
So
Pocket sand.
Victor, you take 2 damage. And you're going to take 6 bludgeoning damage as this thing just like kind of cracks you in the temple.
Okay.
And then go ahead and roll me another concentration check, please.
Now you have Guy Fieri.
Yes, there's definitely like a good like hunk of grass.
That row.
No more bless.
Okay.
No more blesses.
Yep.
Sorry,
And it's
guys.
enough that like the little flowers kind of burst off of everybody as your
Ooh.
concentration breaks.
They get covered in dirt. And
Oh, that was her.
Oh yes.
That's right.
They get trampled
Sadness.
underneath.
Take that.
Okay. And then top of the round, let's go ahead and do another. No real change this time. It looks like the Earth Elemental has kind of grown its other arm as it's trying to push Justikar at Whitehall into the ground, and you can see like she's sunk in like a good foot at this point. So she's definitely struggling to maintain this maul shield, but she seems to be holding her own. So no bonuses either way this time. Ezra.
Okay. Gosh. I want to cast Sword Burst, but I don't want to hurt you.
Is shield active until the end or the start?
Well, so
It was my reaction, so
yeah, till the beginning of his turn.
so it's gone now.
Okay.
It's gone.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it counted for the turn that you had afterwards. You could like move away.
So I think I'm gonna disengage and run.
Okay.
So
Go hide behind the other shields.
Yeah.
Or...
So if I'm up to 20, 25, 30, I'll get right there.
You can actually go one more if you go diagonal.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I'll go one more.
Okay.
And I'll be like, sorry, bolt, and then just kind of like
I got a bolt.
Okay, stay safe.
No, nothing.
Look over there.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
You get a luck die.
Yeah, thank you. The Mudmen will enjoy that.
no.
No! Bad Colby!
Victor, it's your turn.
All right, I will.
I said sorry, Bolt. I got a Bolt.
I will. I guess continue kind of. I'll spin around this way.
Okay.
But from now on, whenever that joke is told at this table, it's a negative luck die.
Yep.
It can only be used once.
Yep, that's how puns work in this campaign. New house rule.
First pun is a luck die. All puns thereafter of the same pun.
It's perfect. So I rolled a natural 20.
Again?
Again.
Wow.
So I'm going to turn around.
It's weird. I'm not even hearing any rolling sounds.
I know, right? It's on the camera. You can see it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like do that, kind of turn around and I flourish and I throw it back behind me.
Flourish.
And say, ole!
I say, ole! So that is going to be 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus, so 11 total slashing damage. That
11
includes
total.
my sneak attack.
Okay. So the...
I'm sorry, 11 plus 6, so 17.
17? The mournful cry of your blade, what's it called again?
Shadow Song.
Shadow Song. Mournful cry of Shadow Song kind of whistles out and just pierces right through this soldier and just crumbles to dust.
Nice. Oh, that's it.
No more Guy Fieri Mudman.
There's just as part of his head.
He's gone to Flavortown now.
I'll
May he
retrieve.
rest in peace.
I guess I'll retrieve the
In
blade,
peace.
and so that's 5, 15, 20. I think that was
You
right
did a big
here.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I'll just kind of like come around.
And you guys are definitely noticing more of the knife dancer in this fight than in the sparring match. Victor is definitely like he has the moves and he's not afraid to show them.
Feeling it.
Show you move.
Show you moves. Then because that
Show
Guy
me
Fieri
what you
was,
got.
Yeah. Bolt, it is your turn.
I'm just gonna swing at the guy with fairy fire.
The fairy fire.
Yep.
Okay.
13.
You want to roll for advantage as well?
Oh yeah.
For fairy fire. Yeah. That is what it does.
15.
15 will hit.
I can add plus. 15 will hit. 8. So that's 2. I'm gonna add the luck die. So 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. And because you did use one of those epic luck dice, you will bypass the resistance with your mace. Go ahead and roll me a d20 to see if you break his weapon.
6.
6. No. Math.
Math.
Math is math. Math is math. Okay, cool. Yeah. He is still up, but you definitely shattered a good chunk of him. Gone, and then we've got those two. Seeing no wizard anymore, they're going to turn around and they're just going to slam into you. And the first one is going to use his luck die that I
I get a
received.
+5 because I'm Jason the Chill.
Yes, you are.
Oh, nice.
So that is going to be a 19 to hit. Okay. And then the other one is going to be even lower. So they're kind of just battering against your armor, not really doing much. And
Cute.
the other mud ones are going to rush forward, or the dirt ones, all 3 of them. They're going to rush forward, basically 1 to 1 to 1. Mano, a dirt, a dirt, a
Does the
dirt.
Justicar get a opportunity attack when they pass?
No, because it's not leaving a threatened area.
Oh, right.
Anyway, and she's a little occupied with that earth elemental
I
at the moment.
figured. Can't have to try that.
She just turns into dust.
Yeah, just swing with the force.
Okay, so attack on Eve is a 19.
Yes.
Okay, that is going to be 6 piercing damage.
Oh no.
Okay.
Attack on Seredan is a 15.
Miss.
And then attack on Victor is a 15.
Hits.
Why don't I have fireball?
For 2 piercing damage. Yep. As they all just kind of rush forward and just slam against you as
Basically,
basically.
like stomp my feet and he steps on my foot. It's like,
Actually, you're with the mud one, right? I actually think that's a different damage, but I'll just. No, it's
Wait,
the same. It is the same.
wait. Okay, never mind. Continue.
Would you like to make a react? Oh no, I guess.
I already used it.
Yeah.
My reaction on bolt.
That was last.
That was
turn.
last round.
So if you wanted to, you
yes,
could do that
I wanna
on
use it
Victor.
For I'm next to.
Seredan didn't get hit.
Well, and he's not within 5 feet of me, so it won't work. Never mind.
Okay. Get on the other side.
We can trade places.
Quick.
All right. Let's go ahead and do another roll at the top of the next round here.
Do the whole, one of you ducks down, the other one rolls
Yeah.
over their back. Right?
So, Justicar Whitehall can't hold anymore, and the force shield breaks, and the thing just kind of grabs her head and pushes her completely into the ground, and then lets out a roar. So everybody roll me a wisdom saving throw, everybody on the battlefield. It's
11.
10,
13.
13, 12.
13.
So Ezra and Eve are okay. The rest of you guys are going to be, it's not stunned, what was the, dazed this turn.
Okay.
Is it dazed?
It's
One action?
Stunned is incapacitated.
Staggered?
Restrained, prone, petrified, paralyzed, invisible, incapacitated, charmed, frightened, deafened.
Petrified?
Frightened, maybe?
No, it wouldn't be frightened.
Paralyzed?
It's
Petrified.
That would be bad.
yeah. I don't think there's actually not actually like I don't think there's actually a 5th edition equivalent to it. So you guys can take one action this turn, either a movement, bonus, or the attack action.
Got it.
That's it. Except for Eve and Ezra, you guys can have your full turn. As basically this, you all just see one of the Arcanum Justicars get pushed completely into the ground, and then this thing lets out a mighty roar as if it's challenging anybody else that wants to come attack it. Ezra, it is actually your turn.
Okay. I'm not gonna let Bolt, die. So I'll move 5 feet, and then I'm gonna turn around and shoot out a not a magic missile, fireball.
Okay.
So I'll just launch one. I'll go to the one with fairy fire.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage.
I missed.
Oh. All right.
That was good inspiration.
No. Oh, I do actually.
Yeah,
have
do you like to
inspiration.
go ahead and use your inspiration
Yeah.
to re-roll one of those?
Oh, that's better. 16.
16 does
Nice.
hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Cool. 4 damage.
Well, that's as much as you need. So this streak of fire runs across and just like almost glasses one of these thing went out of his hand.
Like in the Potter's Fire.
It is, yeah, there's definitely like a little sculpture of the mud creature left. Like,
I don't need construct.
There you go. Could be your next mug.
Mugmen.
Mugmen. Instead of
Write that down. Mugmen.
Mugmen.
Mhm. Victor.
Okay. I will.
Unless Ezra has anything else.
No.
Does the Justicar seem to be breathing?
You can't see her anymore.
She's
Well,
just
sorry.
straight up pushed
You
out.
can't hear her anymore. Nobody else can see her anymore. She's completely covered by earth and dirt at this point.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, nobody knows
That's
really
Alright, I will attack, I guess, the one in front of me as my action.
Okay.
And that is an 11.
That'll hit.
So let's just do this. I have someone adjacent. No, I do not. Do it
Yeah, me.
just a car, but it has to be within 5 feet. You're not in 5 feet.
Yeah.
Not of the
You?
mud person.
Of the
Oh,
person.
that's right. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Just a
Yeah, the Justicar technically
It's
probably
underground.
isn't
She's
able
like
to
10
provide
feet.
like a flank.
So then I don't get a sneak attack, but that's 7 damage
7
with the
damage.
slashing.
Okay, perfect. All right, yeah, you definitely deal a good little blow there.
Okay.
And that's your action. Seredan.
I say, Vicky, haven't you ever fought in a team before? Let's attack the same target.
Well, it's kind
So it
of hard.
begins.
Even if you point at it, I don't know which one you're talking about.
To your right.
All right.
Vicky. Wow.
Surprised you didn't just dagger you.
That's just what I call him when I'm upset.
We'll have to talk about that later.
Oh, and I was so upset I rolled poorly. And I don't have any source of advantage or anything, so that's a 10 to hit.
10 will miss. It brings up its dirt shield and kind of your spear cracks against it. You can't take your butt action this turn because that is a bonus action.
That's right.
And then Eve.
Well, I'm not feeling very well. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
So I can stay in the fight a little longer.
Oh.
Was that a 1?
Welcome to D&D. This is what happens anytime you want to try and do
Which
something
it's
cool.
1 plus your wisdom modifier, right?
Yeah, 4 hills.
So 4. Yep.
4 heals.
Yep. As you kind of just quickly like bring your shield in front of you defensively and say a quick prayer, asking for guidance, and you guys can hear the hoot of an owl as she kind of regains a little bit of vigor.
Whoa.
Say, was that your owl bear?
No.
Is it
That-
healing you?
That is like your owlbear is off on the side, away from everything else. Both snuggle beasts are being played with by the tiny elemental. They're getting soaked in rum, but it's adorable as hell.
They'll smell good.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Owl rum beasts.
Amen.
Bolt, it is your turn.
Smells delicious.
Because of the elemental thing, I can only do actions, so I'll just attack the one that I'm next to you.
9 does not hit. Again, it brings up its shield. This dirt shield seems stronger than anticipated.
We are doing poorly.
That's okay. We got this.
Okay, trio of attacks here because bad guys don't know how to work as a team either. They'll attack different targets. Eve, that is a 9 to hit.
That misses.
Seredan,
I know.
that is a 14 to hit.
Miss.
And Victor, that is a 10 to hit.
Does not.
Okay, perfect.
Yay.
All of you
adorable
avoid that.
idiots.
They all just kind of like shake their spears at you this turn. And then it is the top of the round. We need to find out what's happening to the poor Justicar.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Just card.
So the elemental is like standing over and kind of like starts stalking towards you three, and it gets about where the Justicar is, and it like kind of shakes a little bit as you all hear another rumble. And the Justicar crit this turn. So she comes bursting out as this like wave of force gets like throws all this dirt everywhere and throws the elemental up and back and it smashes into the ground and shatters into pieces.
Ooh.
Naruto.
And she's just panting, and you can see like she has to rip off her full helmet at this point because it's just covered in dirt, and you see the smudged face of a half-orc woman beneath. And she's just got like she actually has hair very similar to yours, not because she's a vanguard, but just because it's the style, you know. But she kind of is panting, and she turns around and she says, "You guys aren't done yet."
Well, there were like 9 of them.
Well, get on it, Ezra.
Okay,
Get on it.
I'm gonna help Bolt more because I feel so bad that I ran away. So I'm doing another.
Don't worry, Ezra, I'm
fireball.
coming.
So I'll do my magic motions.
Perfect. Roll me an attack.
A 16
16 will hit. Roll me damage.
for 7 damage.
Clasked.
Nice. Yay.
That's 2 statues.
Thank you, Ezra.
Sorry, I
No.
ran away.
It's fine. Now let's help our friends. New friends. Or new friends.
Victor.
Our probationary friends.
They're on a 90-day.
I heard that.
So
2 days, 2 battles. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a rocky start.
I'm gonna turn to my right and attack the one to my right. I rolled a 14 plus 5, 19.
19 will hit.
And since that one is in range, then that will be 5, 6, 7, 10. 10 total slashing damage to it, and I'll basically like take the knife and be like, have you ever heard the term that it takes 2 to tango? And I will like throw the dagger. I'm gonna throw it up in the air. I'm gonna turn around and kick it in the air.
Nice. Yep, and go and roll me a d20. 10? Okay. Yeah, you definitely like slam into the shoulder and you can see like the dust. It's almost like dirt is like pouring out like a wound, and it just kind of goes. That pissed it off a little bit.
Angry.
It is angry. It's adorably angry.
So cute when you're angry.
Like a Groot, like a baby Groot screaming.
Seredan.
Yeah, I'll attack the one in front of me.
Okay.
That's an 18
That'll hit.
for 6 damage.
It is still up,
And then butt action.
but
Dang it. Almost right. So 24
yeah.
for 7 more damage.
Yeah. So you just come in with a quick 1-2 with the spear, spin around, and the thing just darts.
Nice. And I say, I'm not a ballroom dancer, but you're dead.
And then Eve.
I will attack the little cutie in front of me.
Okay.
Great!
Booyah!
Nice.
Swinging. I feel the momentum.
Do you have any spells left?
Yeah,
That's when you smite.
That's when you smite.
All right, so that's max damage plus what I roll.
Just the damage roll again.
Yeah, so another D. Wow.
So 8 plus 7 plus 3.
8 plus 7 plus 3?
Yeah. 18 damage.
18.
15.
Still alive. These things take half damage from non-magical weapons. So
Okay.
Ah,
I was
that
like,
explains.
I was like, you're
Like, I
making
killed
this
that one so
one-shot
fast,
him.
and you guys
Mhm.
suck.
Yeah.
I know.
but yeah, you definitely come down and you just like cleave. In fact, I'm not even going to make you roll for it. You cleave right through both of its arms.
Nice.
So it no longer has weapons currently. It has to reform its weapons.
No, it's gonna
headbutt
bite
you.
you with the dirt mouth.
Yeah, it's just like.
What you gonna do? Bleed on me?
Yeah.
I'm not
Well, we'll find out. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No. Good. Pat it on the head.
Bolt. It is
The
your
next adaptation of these will have a bite attack.
turn. Yes.
I'm
That's the Durdles.
gonna move
The snapping.
6
Snapping.
forward.
Okay.
It's 30 feet. And then I'm going to. I was going to thorn whip this guy and pull him there so he can just get murdered. But I will just firebolt that one.
Okay.
Right there.
Sure. Because you are an artificer.
I will fire myself.
You fire your.
Fire and bolt. Sorry, whoops, I don't know why I rolled 2. 16.
Nice.
Okay, go and roll damage.
Like, take your fist and like strike it against.
3.
So this thing is like you pat it on the head and then it starts getting angry and you can see that something is moving underneath and this stone kind of crown, or not crown, but like a little stone like headbutt iron cap thing comes up like it's about to headbutt you, and it rears back and then a firebolt hits it and shatters.
Nice.
That was
Gone?
close.
Is it gone?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Bolt
it's gone.
Deer.
You're very welcome.
And then I think all that's left is that little mud guy.
I got
Are
you.
you telling me to fire, or are you saying I
Both.
should use it?
And it so these things don't appear to be doing anything other than just like raging against a machine. So it is just going to attack blindly, and it is going to roll a 17 to hit Victor.
I see you can also fight blind.
I didn't want to say it like I was gonna say it's gonna hit blindly at Victor, but
That's okay.
I thought it was clever, but I decided to
does
keep it
it.
to myself. 5 bludgeoning damage. Oof. Okay, and then top of the round here, the Justicar is going to turn around and just smash it.
So is the elemental?
Yeah, the
gone?
elemental's gone. Yep, it got turned to rubble. And then the Justicar just turns around and she brings her maul down and smashes it so cleanly that like not even any like dirt or any mud bursts off of this thing. Yeah, and she just takes and she does with a maul what samurai would do with their sword afterwards, where she like flicks the mud off of it, and it kind of just seems to like almost the maul seems to almost vibrate a little bit as it cleans the dirt and mud away.
I'm just like, we had it.
Well, it was the last one. Now, all of you,
Kill Silvers.
It's the glory hog, this one.
Really?
and she scoops up her helmet and puts it on her arm, and she says, "All of you, come with me now." And she starts marching off.
Come to the principal's office.
and she stops and glares at Ezra a little bit.
I'm like, relative of yours.
Congratulations, guys! That is a win.
That was
tough.
That was.
As we're walking through,
Yeah, you can see that.
are,
by the
are
way,
any of you
Yeah.
severely injured?
Both.
We don't feel well.
Oh, by the
I've
way,
been bitten.
as you're walking along, your water droplet comes running over, and you can see it like already failing, and it like reaches
It's
out
like
to hand
baby
you
Groot.
the snuggle beads, and you guys can pick them up right as it like turns to rum and just splashes against the ground.
Oh, my snuggle.
It-
I will
It
always
had a good
remember
life.
you, rum baby. In the smell of
Rumby.
nonsense. Rumby. There it is. There it is.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on Eve.
Okay. And you can see that the festival, they're starting to pick
9
things up.
Thank you.
It's people are there's a good cordon. You see like 3 or 4 Arcanum guards. It doesn't look like there's too many of them around there. They're starting to take down the shields and help kind of clean up a little bit. Balin Heck is reassuring everybody that that was just a random occurrence. It's not the sign of any invasion. Everything's okay. The festivals will continue in about 20 minutes. Please relax. We're going to talk to Gore and see if he can read the earth. It's okay. Everybody's fine. And he kind of looks over and he sees the Justicar taking you, and they kind of lock eyes for a moment, and he just gives her a nod, and she nods back. And she takes you back into Balin's berth, down through everything, and to the Arcanum headquarters.
Oh no, I'm in the Viper's nest.
So let's see.
Ezra, I hear your heart rate increasing. Are you okay?
Keep that to yourself, friend.
All right.
So the Arcanum office is similar in every town, so you guys recognize it pretty immediately. The squat building is made of marble with a tower-like parapet ringing the roof, and it's just a 2-story structure. Usually there are some Arcanum guards standing around outside or inside. Right now there is nobody. They're all out helping the citizens. In fact, as you guys are watching, you see one of the law mages rush out. He's got a staff in one hand just to go kind of help cordon off the area.
Did it look like there were any other like fights that had broken out, or was it just centralized?
It just
on
seemed that it was centralized on where you guys were. And again, you kind of pointed out this earlier, but I'll remind you again that the Arcanum seemed to be prepared for this, right? They showed up pretty quickly when they felt things happening.
Okay.
So she leads you in through the main door. There's a little bit of a mess hall that's empty right now. It's a little bit of a mess. And then she just takes you straight to the left to an office that has the name Justicar Grand Whitehall on it. Her office is quite sparse. An armor stand in one corner, and hooks where she places her force hammer. Then she puts the helmet down, kind of like goes over to like a little washing bowl and kind of gets a little bit of the dirt off, and she says, "Please feel free to use it if you need to." And then she kind of sits down in the behind the desk and waves at the few seats in front and says, "Sit if you want, and let's have a chat."
How did you get there so quickly?
You notice that. Kenai. We've been experiencing incursions from these elementals for a little bit now. Probably a couple of weeks coming into Six Hills. And we knew we kind of have a handle on the senses that are needed in order to detect them. So we knew that something was coming. We didn't know where it was going to happen. So we appreciate, once again, the Arcanum appreciates your help in defending the towns of Aneria from dastardlies.
What sort of things are you looking for to predict?
Our law mages are reading vibrations along with the local shamans. There is a sort of tremor, like an earthquake-like tremor that follows them.
Are they always earth elementals?
Yes, they are. And our law mages they have pinpointed the location of where they're coming from, and we believe they're coming from a small rune called Hollowbend Sanctum.
Hollowbend Sanctum.
Normally, these are benevolent creatures. The earth elementals have never really been at odds with the people of Six Hills. Something is driving them away from the sanctum that they protect and guard, and has kind of left them a little bit crazed.
Isn't Was it Gore? One of the elementals that lives in one of the hills here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Gore is he's a separate entity. He hasn't heard of anything with the Earth. They haven't spoken to him. We tried to capture one, but it kept escaping, so we couldn't do anything more than just end it. The things are crazed beyond reasoning.
And where's the location of this? What did you call it?
Hollow Bend Sanctum.
The Sanctum.
The Sanctum is a small rune. There's a forest just to the south of the long road, probably about 15 miles away from here. And normally we would send a detachment of the Arcanum out to investigate it, but this is a situation where we need extra help. And I've been given permission by the Balin to contract mercenaries or adventurers such as yourself, if you so desire.
Well, you're in luck. I am used to this kind of thing. Do you have a contract that we can look over?
Sure. And she pulls out kind of a standard contractor's agreement that basically says, like, you will agree to do blank job. It's sort of like a Mad Lib.
Verb.
Yeah.
Noun.
Yep. It lists your names. Kind of is. It's very much a. In fact, if you give me an Arcana check really quick, you're both proficient in Arcana, right? I won't even need a check. This is definitely law magic. Like through and through, you can tell that it's a binding contract. They'll pay the agreed amount that is written in once everybody's signed it upon completion.
Yeah.
That is a great.
I'll look at it and go, it seems legit. Do you agree?
Yes. Very thorough.
30 gold per person from the Arcanum coffers.
Say what?
For basically investigating and bringing back any information that you have on Hollow Bend Sanctum. And then there's also a section in it that describes 15 gold up front for any sort of purchases that you may need, and also comes with all the benefits that Arcanum jobs bring: healing if needed, transportation provided, etc. And then there's a section
expenses,
there. Funeral expenses. Yep. And then there's also a section in there that says that a 50 gold bonus for additional services to Balin Heck. And that is the, like, that's a single line written in there. It's not detailed any more than that.
Does it say what that bonus is? What we have
Nope.
to do?
Nope, it doesn't say on the contract what that bonus is.
So we'll let's talk to me in the
You'll have to talk. I mean, if you want, you can ask her.
Yeah. What's this line here about Balin Heck services?
Right. You can't speak of this outside this room, just to keep the people of Six Hills from worrying too much. But I'm sure you've noticed that Ainur Elevir is not here yet. And up until this morning, we had no idea why she wasn't in town. But a couple of our advanced scouts reported a caravan with a few of her personal items that had been destroyed near Hollow Bend Sanctum. So
the caravan?
It's like not like a long caravan, like a single wagon caravan.
So not those dwarves.
No.
Well, it's on the way. Might as well take a look.
So the 50 gold is if you can bring her back safely, or at least bring back proof of her demise, so that we know what happened to her.
Any leads on who might want her killed?
Chances are it was just bandits on the road. She probably ran off into the forest somewhere. So if you could find her, we didn't see anything malicious. It looks like it's standard long road highwaymen. I didn't see any sort of specifics.
Looks like a sort.
You encountered highwaymen on the road?
Yes, about 50 miles away from here.
Did you report it?
We did not.
She opens up a drawer and pulls out another scroll and starts writing something down. She's like, please put that down in the report, everything that happened.
Matrix printed noises. Yes, I'll fill out the description of what I can remember about the two men.
Yeah.
While all this is going on, can I scan over her desk, see if I can see any loose papers, maybe
Sure, yeah.
arrest records?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an
Posters.
investigation check.
11?
Just his boots left.
Yes.
That was that one.
Yes.
It was self-defense.
I figured. 11. You don't see anything that specifically says your name.
Okay.
That's what you're looking for.
I'm looking more about anything to say Trevin.
Apparently, news has not reached Six Hills.
All right.
You do see a single request on there that you kind of glance over as she's not really paying attention. That is a reply from the Arcanum to Gren about a request for additional assistance and a full champion in Six Hills. Because the way that the Arcanum works is the Tower of Justice is the law enforcement portion, and big cities have a champion, which is a full trained above the Justicar, even better than the Justicar. And any smaller towns and small villages usually just have a Justicar as their sheriff. They're not officially a champion though. And this request appears to be a request for a full champion because Gren believes that Six Hills is a big enough city-state at this point to require increased Arcanum presence. And the reply, then you can just see that the reply talks about rejection of this and continuation of services as desired. So
I just say, bandits on the highway. Are the Justicar forces spread a little thin? What's going on?
The Justicar forces vary from place to place. Usually we don't monitor the highways. Specifically, the long road is normally dedicated to the people of Border Grad up until Willow Creek Hollow. And from Willow Creek Hollow, it is one of the noble houses. Which noble house specifically? I know. Greenwood. Yeah. House Greenwood usually handles the patrols for Terrebonne and their territories. And then Salsport is Salsport. I will get into that.
Sounds like there's a story there, but maybe now's not the time to try.
Now is definitely not the time. You've got a journey to make quickly because we'd like to have Ainur here by the end of the festival if we can recover her and to kind of ease people's minds about the sanctum.
Last question. This is not exclusive contract, yes?
It is an exclusive contract. There are no others.
Non-transferable?
No.
Upon death, if someone dies, they get their contract?
No, I'm afraid not.
Alright.
Everyone who returns will receive 30 gold. Judging by what I know from your team, that should be fine. So, if you'd like, you can go ahead and take free use of the facilities here. There should be a cleric on site, or if you want to pray in your own way, you can. And in I'd say about 20 minutes or so, and she kind of looks around to see who to hand the scroll to, and then she hands it to Bolt. And she says, take that to the airship dock of Valen's Birth and speak to the owner of...
How much longer is the festival going on?
The festival will go throughout the evening. It's probably about, I'd say it's about 11 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
PM or
AM.
Yeah.
Yep. 11 in the AM. Yep. So
So we did some day drinking.
Yes.
Some
you're looking for you'll be looking for the ship, the Greatest Treasure.
Okay.
Okay, well, I think it's a minimum. I accept.
Okay. Perfect. So she has you all sign the contract if you all accept.
Well, looks like we're
Do
in this
you
together.
sign your regular name or do you sign a pseudonym?
I just signed Ezra.
Okay.
Because that's my name.
Perfect. Yep. Because you know that these are legally binding contracts and they will show up on every record
Yeah.
that the Arcanum needs to look on. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not worth drawing attention yet.
Okay.
I will sign.
I'll sign
Sign
with
Sign it.
my ring.
Oh yeah, perfect. That's definitely binding. She looks it over and she seems a little surprised by it, but not that surprised. And then Bolt, you sign it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she hands out 15 gold each, which is the advance for the 30 gold per person. No wait, That's in addition to the 30 gold. Yeah, so you get a 15 gold advance for any sort of supplies that you need. And then you can also avail yourselves of the Arcanum, which includes a healing potion. So you guys each get a potion of healing from their storehouse.
Right.
Cool. Okay. And then any who can, you can go ahead and just heal back up to full. You don't have to use your resources, your own personal resources. You won't be able to take a long rest. You can take a short rest while you're gearing up to go.
Okay.
So if I
Do
think you
any
have,
of the candies get our spell slots back? Any spell
I
slots
don't
back?
believe so. You are all tapped out of spell slots, aren't you?
I'm okay.
Do you have arcane recovery? No, because you're not a wizard.
I am all out of spells.
Okay. Okay. So you guys can go ahead and do we want to? I think we will wait till next time to continue. Yeah. So so you guys will go ahead and you'll be heading out towards the air dock, which is just kind of this large tower with a couple airships hanging over it in Beyond's Birth, and we'll find out more about the greatest treasure, Hollow Ben Sanctum, and the fate of what's going on there, and hopefully the fate of Ainur Elevir as well. But yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Until next time, we will see you next Wednesday. We love you. Comment, like, subscribe. You've probably seen those scrolling across the screen. By this point, hopefully you've given some great names for the Snuggle Beasts. Make sure to go back to section 1 and leave your recommended names. I think we're going to formalize those once we kind of get a better idea of what people think of that. So have a good night.
See you guys.